Live from the Theodore Jiggett studio in downtown Robbinsville, it's the Animal House Radio Show, and here's your host, Carlo Valerio.
Thank you. What's up, everybody? Good to be here this week. We got a great show for you lined up. We're a little light today. There's just me, Paul, and our extra special guest.
I don't feel light.
Oh, well, neither do I. But,
lightheaded, maybe.
Well, yeah, that's about it. It's the helium we've been inhaling. We have a special in-studio guest, Mr. Sal Angiotti, Letty, Angiogram. I can't say it, but Sal's also a host here on Hamilton Radio. He has like 17 different shows. He's actually in the running to have more shows than Jerry Petito.
It's a competition.
They're running neck and neck. Now, I think his new show is called Talking Baseball, Sal?
Yes, Talking Baseball.
Perfect timing.
Back on again tomorrow night, and we'll talk about everything that's going on in spring training with the latest on Hopper and Machado and all that other
Every Thursday it is this?
Whatever they want.
I want the Yankees to get Harper.
No, but your show is every Thursday, or is it a different day every week?
Well, whatever they want.
Oh, okay. Who's they?
Whatever's available.
Oh, Gene.
Next week he's doing mud wrestling.
Let me explain something. When you deal with Gene, you got to say, "Listen, Gene, this is what it is. Either that or you're gonna get hurt." And Gene doesn't care because he's too busy chasing his recycling cans down the block anyway. So.
Gene's still trying to figure out what color to paint the studio.
Yeah.
He's got so many people with their opinions.
Well, you got to ask the CEO, Jerry Petito. Why don't we just make it pink and we'll put little flowers?
You mean like our background?
Yeah, we'll do like
like
My
Dice's
Pony.
old stand-up thing. Navy blue, navy blue, navy blue.
We'll do purple.
Blue, who?
We'll do pink with little flowers on it. You know.
They paint the
Can we have cherubs?
like the chocolate
Yeah, we'll
patch.
put little fat cherubs in with the arrows, and we'll shoot them right in our ass. The arrows.
Can't have fat cherubs, and the show won't be light.
Gene, what's the and when you answer, please get on the mic like a normal person and not like really. Well, this is what happened. I was walking in the bathroom and
He's
I
turning
saw
me on with that heavy breathing.
I saw Christopher Lloyd in the bathroom.
That was not me.
That was Ruben. That was Ruben.
What's the status with the move to the
Ooh,
new
the
studio?
status. Let me write that down. Status.
Oh, God.
Well,
We have a set date to move yet?
Yeah, next year.
The move date depends on the CO when we get the CO. And then we have 30 days from that.
Right.
So once we get the CO in our hands, we know we can move in.
So you're figuring about a month or two.
Well,
Spring, maybe.
we don't know. We're hoping.
March would be good.
It was supposed to be March.
March would be good. March,
yeah.
April.
February, March.
I hope so.
March and April will be better. Warmer out.
We are not in control of that. It's not our problem. We can't do anything about that.
You can't do it in April.
Oh, it's like the outer limits. You have no control.
Yeah.
Well, the CEO should come. You see, he doesn't know how to grease the local politicians.
Well, you got to have money to grease the local politics.
Or an oil gun.
Oh, you could grease them under the car.
Over there. So.
Will gun.
What are you doing? I'm greasing
to grease the local politicians and the zoning problems you're going to have.
Talk about a lube job.
Mr. Mellon, mafia payoffs are not anything part of what I'm teaching.
And you know who runs that business.
And I can assure you it's not the Boy Scouts.
Look, I'm browsing. We're browsing here.
Is this an otter and
Girls, this is Lou. Lou, these are girls.
This is my nieces.
Your father loves you, Jason. I'll give you an example. I have two sons. One I put through college, the other I put through a wall. So, Gene, what's up with your daughter on Instagram again with the nude photos?
Oh, God.
It's not
I can't. I don't know. I don't have Instagram, so I didn't see anything.
Wait, what kind of parent are you?
She's
Are
not
you just
nude.
like, do you walk around the house with blindfold on? And go, I don't see anything.
Sometimes I'm blindfolded. I got something on my mouth. I can't hear.
I mean, you got girder. You got glasses the size of girder panels. I don't understand. How could you not say? I mean, with glasses that size, you should be able to see 2020.
Now, my eyes are bad because I looked at an arc welder years ago.
I used to be a welder too.
Riveting.
Yeah, but
It's riveting.
I looked at it by mistake when somebody knocked the curtain down.
I looked at it all the time. I stared at it.
Yeah, you're not supposed to hurt
I
your
know.
retina.
Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain.
I know. Are we allowed to use the iPads today?
What iPads?
You know, my iPad?
Yeah.
Because I don't want it to, you know.
Can we use the maxi pads too?
Yeah, I don't want it to cause a cancer cluster that'll like sit over the whole studio and
No strings attached?
no. Why the crabs can't go bungee jumping then?
How do they wear ass floss with that on?
Ass floss. What the hell is ass floss?
Another word for thongs.
Yeah, thong.
Oh,
Somewhere
yeah.
thong.
We call it ass floss.
Either way, it's nice
No, I hope
on certain people.
Hopefully we move by March because April is our 3rd anniversary, and I wouldn't like it to be,
We'll be there by April.
We're not in control of it again. It's
Right.
not-
Well, how do you not in control? You're the owner
Because
of
of the
network.
CEO, he just told you.
Yeah, you go to the thing and you get to the fat lady named Mrs. Whatever. And
Give her some
the other
Tootsie Rolls.
issue.
Give her some Tootsie
Here's
Rolls.
the other issue. There's so many people asking for the CO for this building. That's the other problem.
Well, they do them all at once. It's all one building.
No, but everybody around it wants the CO for that building.
Why does everybody
Because
else
they
want
want
it?
this knocked down.
What's it got to do with that?
Parking lot
Yeah, what's it got to do with
for
the
other
other?
buildings.
Yeah, but you got plenty of parking lot already.
Yeah, but they're not.
They're
Once
not?
PJ's Pancake House moves in.
That's not in yet. That's not even built yet.
No, I know, but once it moves in,
Then we can get flapjacks.
What is it called? PJ's Pancake?
PJ's Pancake House. They
I
got
thought
a
it was
bar. in
BJ's.
there.
I thought it was
Pancake.
BJ. That's a nice pancake.
What's wrong with IHOP?
The person decided to buy it was PJ's Pancake House. I don't know about IHOP.
Well, who the
Oh, they
hell,
changed
who
it
the
back?
hell is PJ? I don't want a guy that's in his pajamas making my pancakes.
Oh, they went back to IHOP.
Who the hell
It's
knows
not
where the syrup
IHOP.
comes from?
Yeah. Gina, we on Facebook? Yeah. Under what?
Under a bridge.
On your show page or my page?
Under Carlo Blario.
Every week it's different. Like I wish there was consistency.
Well, stop changing your name.
You got You got 3 pages.
All right,
He's
but
talking about my shows. He's got 9 pages.
Are we going to have pages at the new place?
yeah, right. We're gonna have pages. We're gonna have brand new paint, new everything, and the same equipment.
That's what they should have did. Started a new Hamilton radio page, the before and after look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Let everybody vote on what colors they want. That'll take forever.
just a reminder: Dave Hodge had to take the night off. Gisela is not here tonight. She has not been feeling well, so she's taking the night off. So we hope she feels better.
She's
And,
sick, right?
Yeah, she's
And tired. I heard she's sick and tired. That's
sick-
what I heard.
Yeah, and she's tired of being sick and tired.
That's a good one.
It is. It really is. But we have a great show for you lined up tonight. We have, and for all you movie buffs out there, we
Yeah.
have a great actor. He's a director, producer, and just recently now an author. He's got a new book out. His name is Patrick Kilpatrick, and you might say, "Wait, who's that?"
Look him up and you'll know exactly who he is in every fucking movie you ever
Exactly.
made.
He is the quintessential Hollywood bad guy that you
Yep.
see in every movie, and he's a phenomenal actor. And
Yep.
we're going to be talking with him at 8:30, so make sure you stick around for that. And
It's like
his-
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Well, Samuel L. Jackson plays
in
a
every
good
movie, too.
guy. He's half in it, but this guy is always the heavy in the movies.
What are all those guys gonna do when Marvel's all their contracts run out?
I don't know. I've had my fill of the superhero things. It's
Well, this next Avengers movie, Endgame, is it for like 4 of them.
well, that's,
Oh, really? They get knocked off?
Well, their contracts are all up.
Oh, so I guess they get knocked off.
Well,
That's a good sign usually.
Well,
as of the
Chris
la-
Evans doesn't know yet, but then they said John Cena might portray Captain America if he doesn't come back.
Huh.
Well, how do you know and Chris Evans doesn't know?
It's like when McLean Stevenson from MASH.
How does Sal Angiogram from Hamilton know, but Chris Evans doesn't?
It's like
know?
McLean Stevenson when he was in MASH. I'm going. He's not renewing his contract, and all of a sudden he dies in a helicopter crash.
Yeah, right. Oh, Henry Blake.
Yeah, Henry Blake.
What was I going to say? His Patrick Kilpatrick's new book is called "Dying for Living: Sins and Confessions of a Hollywood Villain and Libertine Patriot."
Oh.
So, and you can get that on his website at www.patrickkilpatrick.com.
That's great too. Playing a bad guy's a great role to play.
Yeah, but you know
It's
what?
meaty, It's meaty.
I guess when
He
he's
worked forever.
this Patrick has been in over 170 movies,
Yeah.
so he must be doing something right.
Yeah, he's got a good look.
But I just
He's a good actor.
wonder if he fears being stereotyped in that.
I think it's a
same
little late
role.
for that.
No, but I wonder if that was ever a concern that
Maybe at the
Well,
beginning.
that's what happened with Michael Keaton.
Right.
After the first 2 Batman movies, he didn't want to get stuck in the role,
Right.
like Christopher Reeve did with Superman.
Right.
Because I can't. What she?
But that's an iconic role.
Which he should have never done because.
But if you're an actor, you
That
just want to
would've
work,
been great.
man. If you're an
Right.
actor, if you can keep on getting, if you keep throwing money and jobs at you, you're gonna keep
And
taking them.
look what happened to Keaton after the second Batman movie. He didn't
Right.
do anything for how long?
Yeah, until the Bird, right? Didn't do anything for a while.
Yeah, he fell off the grid. I don't understand.
He did The Bird. Before that, he was in the other guys with Will Ferrell.
Right, I love that movie. He played a great part. The
Did
captain.
you see me in that movie?
Were you in that?
I'm serious. All of like 3.5 seconds.
What part of it with all the cops?
At the Nick game.
Ah,
On the
that's cool.
security guard sitting down when they were standing up.
I'll have to look for you next time. I love that movie.
I
didn't
actually
even know
got it
that.
on. I got
That's
a
one of my favorite comedies.
I got a
Oh,
picture.
he always is talking about that movie.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cameos in that movie too.
Oh yeah.
Did my first office pop? Did my first office pop?
Yeah, the Rock's in it.
Yeah, the rocket.
Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, they jump off the building, aim for the bushes.
Wasn't Albano in that too?
No, he
That
was dead
the,
already.
The other movie. What was that movie called?
I don't know.
Lou Albano was in the movie with
What?
Danny DeVito and.
Well, this wasn't Danny DeVito. This was
No, I know.
Will Ferrell
It
and,
was-
Mark
it was
Wahlberg.
It was another movie like that, but he played a.
I don't know.
I guess the guy that
Lou
leads on it.
Albano?
Yeah.
I don't know what movie that is.
I know he was in the videos.
Yeah, Cyndi Lauper.
He was in Goonies. Yeah.
He was in a movie.
Yeah, he was in Cindy Lauper's videos.
What was that movie he was in?
We're in a cop movie?
Yeah.
I have no
Captain Lou Albano.
Yeah.
I don't remember him being in any movie.
idea. Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, there you go. Look.
There you go. Gene, now we got something for Gene to do.
Oh wow.
That's so cool, buddy.
And we didn't know at the Garden because that was the real Nick game going on. We didn't know they were filming a movie. Nobody told us nothing.
Oh. They want to be authentic, that's why.
So I was like sitting down. I'm like, why are these two guys standing up? Like I was getting ready to jump off my chair. I'm like, sit down.
That really is a great comedy. I really like that movie a lot. And him and Wahlberg were great together.
Where's my residuals?
Residuals, right? That Mark Wahlberg doesn't need any residuals. He's making a he's
Yeah, he's
in a
doing
movie
well.
every week.
He's producing everything too.
I'll tell you what, the new one he did, 22 Mile, was pretty good. Did you
Yeah.
see that?
Did you know he was the original New Kid on the Block? But
Well, he was singing
gave that
before Donnie was.
well gave that to his brother
Right.
because his brother used to be in a lot of trouble
Right.
back in whatever
The whole family had all the
Boston
all
and
grew up.
stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
I want to give a big shout out to Louis Cedeno, a.k.a. DJ Friction, down at 102 DLG Radio Orlando.
Yeah.
Julie Angelina, our a Thunder from Down Under. Good day.
Thunder from down under.
Yeah,
She's
she's
from
from
Australia.
Australia. Happy Valentine's Day to you.
Who doesn't-
Mary D. Fiore,
What was that, like 20-something hours ahead?
Mark
Oh, behind
D.
us.
She already heard the show already.
Vic Mesh, my old buddy from Belleville. He's like the chief of police now. He's
Hello, Chief. It's Max.
Yeah, he's about that tall too. Mike Zimmerman, who's a member of Will Palumbo's crew out there in PA, and Gisela Bella. Hi, I hope you're feeling better. And
Giselle, if you have any inquiring mind questions, send them to us.
yeah, if you want to call up and phone it in like you do every week.
Or just text them to us. Either way.
Yeah, well, she can do them if she
Whatever
wants.
you want to do.
She don't feel well.
Oh,
That's from all the pastry that she keeps under the bed.
Yeah,
The cano-
502 Entertainment. That's right. I was
The
just kidding,
cannolis?
Mike Zimmerman from
leave
502
the gun, take the
Entertainment.
cannolis.
What? What about cannolis?
Leave the gun, take the cannolis.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sal Angiogram is here with us today, and he's the host of Talking Baseball.
How do you really pronounce your name, Sal?
Angeletti.
Angeletti. That's
Angeletti.
easy. Angeletti. That's easy.
There is an Italian cider with my last name. I don't know if we're related, but I got to trademark my last name. I
Yeah.
got to do something.
Yeah.
Right.
I think they now sell in the States. They're selling it in some places in Jersey. I don't know where.
Angeletti
Just
cider?
Italian cider, yes.
Oh wow. A big shout out to Paul X Diaz, the
Yeah, from the movie, The Bound.
writer, director, and the genius behind The Bound. Great series. We had some fun shooting last week, Super Bowl weekend up in Hillside. We did at this nice little restaurant, and
Cool.
leave it to Paul to pick Super Bowl Sunday to shoot.
That's actually probably a good day to do it, though.
Now we got done early, so it was cool, and we got to, even though I wasn't too crazy about neither team, at least I got to, you know.
At least there was no controversy this time.
Yeah, only the halftime show. It's
Oh, that was horrible.
All right, Lewis, you're beating a dead horse.
That was
now.
atrocious.
Don't make me fly down to Orlando there.
yeah. Throw some of that hot weather up this way, will you?
Yeah, right.
It's going to be 56 coming up Friday.
Do you think we're gonna get a lot of snow or no?
On 56 degrees? I don't think so.
No, I mean, like, I think this.
We might be getting through this real soon. Puxatawny Phil said it's only three more weeks of winter, so we might get through
wow.
this. We
Don't
may luck
forget,
out.
March 10th, we set the clocks already.
It figures the year I buy a brand new snowblower, there's no snow.
Well, make the snow, and then you can blow it. Get a snow making machine.
Well, those are the
Yeah,
worst
right.
things. Go to a resort and you pay all that money and it's fake snow.
At nighttime, when all the neighbors are sleeping, you do snow all over their houses and over their lawns. Then you come back and next day you
Yeah,
shovel.
I'll put termites in her house and then show up with the exterminator.
What happened out here?
I got the movie, guys. It's called Wise Guys.
Oh, okay.
That's right. I didn't even
Danny
think of that.
DeVito,
Joe Pesci.
Lou Albano, and Joe Piscopo.
Pesco, I mean.
Yeah,
Pisco,
he
yeah.
played Frankie the Fixer.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's right. I
Why
forgot
is
about that
Now,
movie.
I totally missed. My uncle was Trucks was in that movie because they filmed it down Neck, Newark, Nasto's Ice Cream, and yeah, he played Frankie the Fixer. Thank
Yeah,
you, Mr. Acavano.
Yeah, that was a good
That's
movie.
the famous line. That's right. That's the
Right.
famous line.
They stole his credit card. He goes, $2,000 in the restaurant. Thank you.
I forgot about that movie.
That was one of those movies that slipped under the radar.
And it kind of disappeared. It's like Johnny Dangerously, same thing.
Oh,
Another
that's a
Michael
great
Keaton movie.
movie.
It kind of like disappeared. You
I
don't
That was
see
a
it.
great
that
movie.
Peter Boyle was hysterical in that
Yeah.
movie.
Oh, The Dream Team was another great movie with those guys.
Yeah, and it just kind of some
We
movies just
all
don't come back.
naked in the flies of the lawn. Stop!
Oh, Christopher Lloyd was hysterical there. Can anybody recommend a good clinical psychologist? And the one guy that played Flounder on Animal House,
Yeah, Stephen First.
Stephen First. He doesn't.
He just died too.
Anytime he talked, he only talked about baseball. He goes, he had to go to the bathroom. So Michael Keaton goes, Albert, you have to go to the bathroom. He goes, batter up, batter up. And then Peter Boyle, who was like the instigator, and then he goes, Albert's gotta go.
They don't show that movie much.
No, certain ones, just like I said, just kind of disappear for some reason.
They were
Must
funny.
be the rights. Must be something to do with the rights.
For us growing up, they were funny, but they didn't
Right.
make the cut as far as being like one of those
Classics? I could think they showed them enough.
Yeah,
Certain movies grow on you the more you watch them, you know?
Dream Team never really. Johnny Dangerously's a classic, but
Yeah.
Dream Team never really stood up there. But it's one of those movies when it's on, it's funny.
I was with Tom Hanks, Money Pit.
Yeah.
Money Pit's a great.
Shelley Long,
movie.
yeah.
I love that movie. Joe Mantegna actually's in it. Our
Martin
buddy.
Mull. A lot of
Yeah,
people in the movie.
what happened with our friend there?
No,
They-
Martin Mull.
Oh,
was,
it's Mr. Mom. Mr. Mom, yeah.
You gotta
What
call your
happened?
friend back to be a guest host again.
Who? Joe
But
Man.
Criminal Minds is getting canceled.
Well, no, it's not
Well,
canceled.
they're just running
ending
out.
the show.
Just
I
ending the
mean,
show.
15 years. That's a great run.
Yeah.
Why would they do
Usually episodes, series are 5-6 seasons. You know, there's only been a couple like Law and Order that's
Yeah.
going.
Well, that's still on.
How
Yeah.
many? But
And she's what is she, the captain now or something?
yeah, But you know what it is, and I agree with this. How many? They've done everything.
Yeah,
They're going out on top.
There's only so much you could do in the series.
They've
Yeah,
done
you
every
eventually
type
do run
of,
out.
of person, and they did well with the
I
characters.
like 9/11 on Fox. That fire.
Reno 911.
No, the 911 about the firemen in L.A.
Oh,
Oh,
I never
okay.
saw
That's
that.
that's great. That show.
I mean, look at MASH. MASH was on for 11 years. It was longer than the Korean War was.
Right, and it was like
Korean War was only 5 years.
No, wasn't it 2?
I think Angela Bassett's the producer of the show, and she plays a cop in it too.
I want to say hi to Robert Lewis and Nancy Rizzuti, Big Benny's wife.
Yeah.
So hello to everybody listening. But coming up at 8:30, we have Patrick Kilpatrick. He's a great actor. He's got a new book out, and we're going to talk to him about that and his great career. He's been in 100. I didn't know he had 170 movies.
Well, he's
under
played a
his
lot of small parts and big parts. He's done both.
Yeah, he's got 3 movies coming up that we're going to talk about too. So
Works all the time, man. That's great.
hey, you know what? He's one of those character actors that
He's got that look.
yeah, he's got that look, and
And he's a good actor.
What, when they send me his bio,
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised to learn that he was a bodyguard for some of rock and roll's biggest.
Yeah,
the
say that.
Grateful Dead.
Save that when we talk to him. Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll,
you know,
we'll bring that.
and-
That's a great topic to bring up.
Oh my God, I can do a whole show just on that.
Yeah. No, we were talking about before Michael Keaton. My favorite part in the other guys, Michael Keaton plays the captain of the police force, but he also has a day job working at Bed Bath & Beyond. And he brings everybody around in Bed Bath & Beyond. He goes, okay, I just want you to know there's been a rape and a murder in Forest Hills, but they go, wait a minute, oh, that's my other job. But it's good to know. It's just a
Oh,
great
my God.
movie.
There was a movie with John Ritter and Jim Belushi. I think they were CIA guys.
Oh yeah.
And Jim Belushi is John Ritter's like this unsuspecting guy, and he gets caught up with him, and he's like, "Listen, you have powers," and they're shooting at him with they're shooting at John Ritter and Jim Belushi, and he's got John Ritter believing that he has power, that he could just shoot people with his hand, and so John Ritter goes to shoot people with his hands, and he's going bang, and the guy falls down, but it's really Jim Belushi shooting him.
Right.
It was something to do with the CIA. It was so funny, and then John Ritter goes to the house. And there's this woman sits on the couch next to him, and she starts hitting on him, and he starts making out with her. And Jim Belushi comes downstairs and goes, "Dad, you look great after the operation." Oh, I can't remember the movie with John Ritter. It was like one of those. It was like one of those movies that flew under the radar, but it was hysterical.
And I like Jim Belushi too. He's a good actor too.
Oh, I love him.
Taking Care of Business. Him and what's his face? Charles Grodin.
Oh yeah, I love The Principal.
Yeah, The Principal was a great movie. That's a serious movie. Yeah.
Speaking of Charles Grodin, though, it seems like Old Times was the best.
That's a Neil Simon movie, man. That's a great movie.
It's great.
Chevy Chase, Goldie Hawn. A lot of good cast in that movie. That's a great cast and great script.
Harold Gould, who played the judge.
Yeah.
The dogs work for you too, Mrs.
I'm going
Parks?
to scrape on my feet.
Aurora. I just love Aurora's chicken pepperoni.
Robert Guillaume. Everybody's in that movie. A lot of people in that movie.
What's that noise? I assume that's Ira punching Nick out. And then you hear another noise. He goes, "What's that?" I assume that's Nick punching Ira out.
Right. That was a great movie. That's like I said, this Neil Simon script. I mean, it's a great script.
Yeah. Well, Chevy Chase and Goldie Hawn, they were like the it couple.
Yeah.
When Foul Play
Play, right.
And they had this string. They were like the Hollywood it couple, for a while there. I think they did 2 or 3 movies.
Remember Dudley Moore in that movie? Had a small part in that movie.
He made that whole movie.
That was a great scene.
Yes, I got it all, baby. She's looking out the window. She has no idea.
Some guy's chasing her. Somebody's going to kill her. And he's got the whole bachelor pad.
He looks like Eugene the albino without the glasses. And what was his name? Whitey something. Whitey Jackson. And she's looking out the window, and Dudley Moore's got blow-up dolls.
He's got the bed coming down, the disco ball. That's a great movie, too, Foul Play.
Oh, my God. That was so funny.
I miss Dudley Moore.
Now, that was when I found out that he passed away, that was I was real sick.
It's a sad ending, too. He fell apart little by little.
And Arthur was...
Oh, classic.
Honey, we're poor.
Look, honey... It's IOL, instant on lighting.
You're a hooker? I just thought I was doing great with you.
It's a small country. Rhode Island could beat the crap out of it in the war.
Bitterman, to the park.
I like when he gets the 2 couples, the husband and the wife fighting. He goes, "Perry's a dead man." He holds up his drink.
Great movie.
Don't take that from her, Perry.
Great movie.
Oh, my God. And then Liza Minnelli tells her father, who was Seinfeld's father, Morty Seinfeld.
Yeah.
He goes, "He's rich. You have my permission to marry him."
Right. I forget his real name. Barney something his name was.
Bernard something.
Yeah.
He's a great actor.
Great actor.
He's one of those character actors.
He's been around forever, yeah.
Yeah.
Did a lot of TV series.
Sal, feel free to jump in here all the time.
I'll jump it off the roof.
Instead of texting your gumad that you'll be home later if she wants Taco Bell.
Yeah, what was with that line over there at the drive-thru?
I don't know. Let me tell you something.
People like junk food. That's what.
They like Taco Bell though because
it's dinner hour. Yeah, it's cheap. And
We
quick.
used to call that White Castle the murder burgers.
Yeah,
You go there at
I
4
call
in the
them belly
morning after
bombs.
I used to call it a rat run.
I used to call it
Go on
belly
a rat
bombs.
run.
Yeah,
Belly
those-
bombs?
Belly bombs. Those
Oh,
are horrible.
you eat them for dinner. You're having them for breakfast the next day. That's for sure.
But it ain't gonna be in your system that long.
That shit repeats on me. Sandy Ellers, what's up? Phenomenal female comedian.
She's great. Yeah, I like
She
Sandy.
is great. I love working with Sandy. She really tells it like it ain't. No, I'm just kidding.
Look, I tell you.
She is great to work with. But yeah, so I'm trying to think of them other movies that fly under the radar that we've have.
It's probably
A lot of sleepers. How about that's the movie.
Here's
Used
one.
Cars.
Oh, with the Kurt Russell.
That's a great movie too.
Yeah.
Great cast in that movie. Great movie, and it's
Absolutely.
Okay.
Jack Warden plays twins.
Yes.
When is it enough for a movie to make sequel after sequel?
Has to make some amount of money. Has to come down to
Either
money.
they kill it or they
It depends
or they're
on the
rebooting
movie.
too many bad movies.
It comes down to money.
The one thing even though I enjoyed it, they too many Halloweens, too many Friday the 13th, too
I
many.
enjoyed the last Halloween.
I did.
I
It
didn't
was
see
the same producer and everything, and the
I
guy who
th-
played
I-
Michael.
I didn't like the Rob Zombie take. I didn't like.
It wasn't bad.
It was
He
alright.
tried.
And they didn't need all those Jawses. They didn't need
Jawses?
Yeah, Jawses.
We're gonna need a bigger
Jawses.
boat. Eyes and dolly eyes.
This was no boating accident.
Like a doll's eyes.
5 or 4.
Five.
One was in 3D.
You've been counting money all your life.
It was 5. It was
Yeah.
5.
I'm not going to argue with a man who's lining up to be a hot lunch, Martin.
You know, sometimes sequels are better than the original. Sometimes, most of the time, you're disappointed. Most of the time.
It's like now with the Batman stuff. Now
Yeah.
Affleck is out.
Now it's prequels.
Who's gonna
Yeah,
play
they
Batman?
didn't go, yeah, same thing with Star Wars. They
Yeah,
start telling you the story before the
Well,
story.
yeah.
well, they originally was set for 9. That was the original plan, but they took so long to do the last 3. Because if you notice, you got to watch it from 3, 4, 5 back to 1, 2, 3,
Yes, I can.
and 7, 8, 9.
I ain't got that kind of time.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
I ain't got that kind of time.
Yeah,
But
even with the Star Wars.
But look who Disney bought. They bought all Star Wars. They bought out Marvel.
Right.
So they're in control of everything. And they're building that Star Wars island out in Orlando.
Worse than doing like sequel after sequel, they're starting to do reboots. Like
Yeah, I
I
don't
heard
like
a
that either.
rumor
Yeah.
that they're gonna do Scarface with Leonardo DiCaprio. That is a fail. Before
Well, they are
even-
making Coming to America too, which comes out next year.
Which
That's
is
great.
very interesting.
That should be very interesting.
Yeah.
With Eddie Murphy.
I wonder if they have to pay Art Butch Buchwald again because they had to pay him for that.
Yeah, but is that gonna be Eddie Murphy and Arsenio?
Yep.
Hall?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
They're remaking the
yeah.
Ghostbusters with the original cast too.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
see, that's something they should have did a long time
Yeah, it's
ago.
kind of late. Harold Ramis is dead. Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
late.
They
That's
did
a shame.
They did Ocean's 8 with the girls.
Right.
I didn't like that too much.
I didn't watch it. I didn't see
Ocean's
see it.
11 or Ocean's, what does it start? Ocean's 11?
Yeah, Ocean's 11.
That was a great remake. I
Right.
didn't think they
Yeah.
were going to be able to touch. See, those movies.
And 12
like,
was good too. 12
Yeah,
was good.
well, they were all 11, 12, and 13 were good. I liked them all,
Yeah.
especially the one with Al Pacino and
Yeah.
the original.
Yeah.
But the ones with Sinatra were good, but they were so.
I love that one.
They were good.
You know
but,
what my favorite Rat Pack movies besides Ocean 11 is
Robin and the Seven Hoods.
There you go.
well,
I
yeah,
love that
they-
movie.
They were good,
Mr.
but
Booze.
they didn't
That's
really.
great. They're pushing buttons at a speed.
They could have been so. I wish they would have put more into it. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of cut and dry.
What, the
back
first
then.
one? The original one?
Yeah.
Ah, it was classic. It was about the characters.
No, I know, but I'm saying.
How about the ending? It was the best ending ever. Best ending. They had all the money to put in because one of the guys died. They put all the money in the coffin.
Right.
And they go to the funeral. And Joey Bishop, they were all sitting in the line. Joey Bishop looks down and goes, "What's that noise?" And it goes all the way down the line. "What's that noise?" When it goes all the way to the end, the guy goes, "The body's being cremated." And they all look back at Joey Bishop and just goes, and that's how it ended.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
The money got
God.
burnt.
That was great. The whole line, they were just looking at each other like this.
Son of a gun.
And don't
See,
forget,
now-
Sinatra was the one who brought in Sammy Davis to Vegas because
That's right.
the
Back those days, they were.
those days
Yeah.
that wasn't allowed.
See now here, Nancy Rizzuti just said now they're doing Aladdin with the
Yeah, I
blue,
heard. The genie.
Will
Yeah.
Smith. There's a good joke there, but I ain't touching it.
Yeah, no, I just that's not necessary to me. I'm sorry.
certain
you know,
thing-
leave
well,
it alone.
They're
Well,
just
they're
trying to make money.
they bring the cartoons to live action. Would they make Dumbo also a live action?
Yeah, I mean that's okay for kids. I mean, because a lot of the kids like that Dumbo's going back to the 50s and 60s. You
I'm
know?
with you though with the rebooting stuff. It's you know,
What didn't
come
they
up with some
touch- you know
original
what they
ideas.
didn't touch yet? You remember Herbie the Love Book?
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
they did.
They did redo
They
that.
did- they
redid
did
it
another one?
twice.
Lindsay Lohan was
Yeah.
in it. Yeah.
Oh
it's-
God.
She was still young. I mean, she was like a teenager.
I love that movie, the original.
The
With
original
Buddy
version.
Hackett and
Right.
what's his name?
Dean Jones.
Gene Jones. That's right. I couldn't think of him.
Yeah.
See, I used to love those movies. I used
Sure.
to watch them on Disney.
Yeah.
They used to have it every week.
The Shaggy Dog, all that stuff.
Candle Shoe and the World's Greatest Athlete with the Kurt Russell.
Yeah, he was a
and
kid. Yeah.
all those movies.
Didn't
were
they
good.
want to remake what's?
Witch Mountain? Remember, you
Yeah.
know, Night on Witch Mountain. That was cool. You know?
Yeah.
They did that with The Rock. I mean, I love The Rock, but it's.
Certain things you shouldn't touch.
I think they just do it because they have to spend the money or something, or they're going to lose the money in the budget.
Look at Jumanji. Now, the original Jumanji with Robin Williams, that was a great movie.
You didn't need to
I
bother.
like
The
the second one.
sequel's all right, but it's
wasn't-
not
not that
it's
great,
Not
but
as
it
good as the
was
first
okay.
one. Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. It was more effects than it was substance. You know, that's why it wasn't crazy
Well,
about it.
that's what I think they're trying to. And this is, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You mean to tell me there's nobody in Hollywood with a fresh idea?
Yes, but they don't want to pay the money for it because they don't have a track record.
Well, they still, even if they do reboots, don't they got to pay for the rights for that?
Yes, but they're working with a thing that's already a known thing that they figure the audience is going to go see it because it has a name already.
Yeah,
Like they're doing Lost World. They're doing a lot of Lost World again.
I'll see.
They're doing Jurassic Park. They're doing another one.
Nancy makes a good point here. Mary Poppins. They did a remake,
Right.
and it's totally different.
Right.
The guy, I can't think of his name, that was in Hamilton.
Right.
He's a very talented guy, but
Right.
you can that the original. You know, I guess I'm biased. I guess because we grew
Dick
up
Van
on
Dyke-
the original.
Dick Van Dyke and
and-
Andrews.
Right. you
Well, he
know?
was in that, wasn't he?
Yeah, the original
Yeah, but
one.
he
Did
wasn't-
no, he didn't. He do a cameo for the second one.
Yes, but he wasn't the same character.
Right.
He was he
Oh.
was just. It was great to see him. I mean, the guy's 91, and he's like.
He still can dance and move. And
Well,
everything else.
that was the other thing with the first Batman with Michael Keaton that Adam West wanted to do a
Right.
cameo, and they said no.
Right.
Yeah. Did you think, as far as movie Batman's, that Keaton was the best one, or?
I like Keaton and Christian Bale.
Yeah, I do too. Those are my two
I don't
favorites.
like
Oh,
Christian
they said
Bale.
Clooney killed the bat, so
I like
was-
those two too. I did like those.
well, there's
the
some
best
on
two.
Facebook like the 30-something worst comic book movies made or something.
Do you
like
think
that.
it was Heath Ledger or Jack Nicholson was a better Joker?
Heath Ledger all the way.
Yeah.
Well, Jack Nicholson won the kid. Don't get too much into the character.
And plus, Jack Nicholson made it more like a
And
comedic type of role
yeah,
too.
He locked himself in his hotel room
Right.
day after day to get this character down, and that's what did him in.
Yeah. Everybody, they did it differently. I mean, Keith Ledger more or less played it like evil, and Jack Nicholson played kind of comedic undertones to it. So it was different. I actually was up for the theme song for that. I almost had the theme song for that movie.
Which one?
Batman, the original Batman. I was up for
Really?
it. I was up for it. I didn't get
Well,
it.
they got the Joker coming out with.
What do you mean, to write it or
Yeah, to write the theme song.
compose it?
Yeah, to compose it.
Oh wow,
Yeah, to write it.
I didn't know that. See,
Yeah.
when was you going to tell me this?
Well, didn't make it. So what the hell was it tell you? I didn't tell me about my failures.
Yeah, that's I could use that on an index card.
I was up for a Rocky movie too, for a theme song for a Rocky movie.
Really?
That's
I
all.
have in my list of in my plethora. Write that
Ooh,
down.
plethora. Yeah, that sounds like a big one.
Plethora of collectibles. I have a VHS tape, Rocky 3. It was
Right.
a promotional copy, and when Mr. T comes to the ring, he's coming into Another One Bites the Dust.
Oh, okay.
I guess for some reason that they.
Had to change the song.
Gene, why am I buzzing now? I hear like a buzzing in my voice that I didn't hear before.
I don't hear it on my end.
Let me know if the audio sounds funny to you guys, because
It sounded good to me.
yeah, it was, and then all of a sudden now it's like
Could have been a wire or something. Could be this wire.
Yeah, this is the
Sometimes wires.
tremendous equipment we have.
No,
here.
it's ground, man. It's ground. Sometimes it
I
happens.
know. I'm just teasing. You know what movie I was thinking of, Paul?
What's that?
Remember Brain Donors?
Yeah. What was it? Bobby
Bob-
Nelson.
Bob Nelson
Yeah,
and-
and the other two guys. Yeah,
It was
yeah.
just a stupid movie, and just
It was a Marx Brothers take kind of a movie.
Yeah.
It was good though. I liked it.
and John Turturro's in it.
Yeah, John Turturro is a great actor too. He plays a lot of
And
parts.
he was playing like this whatever character, and he's talking to Nancy Marchand, and he's
Mm-hmm.
like trying to butter her up. He goes, "Oh, Lillian, hold your chins up high." And I was just like the stupid lines that get me.
I like that movie because it was like in the feel of the Marx Brothers. That's what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what it really was.
Now, do you think see, I don't think that they could ever duplicate that.
No, you can't do
What's that?
Marx Brothers now.
No.
They even
It's like
tried to do.
it's tried doing
Oh,
Abbott
you couldn't
Costello.
even do Blazing Saddles now.
No.
No, well, you would never be able to make it like that. And
No.
we had Burton Gilliam on the show, and he says, "Oh God, no, you'd never be able to make."
No,
And-
never.
well, even back then,
It was amazing they got through it then.
What
Well,
about
he-
about the Jeffersons, Archie Bunker, and all that?
Right.
well, you could never watch Archie Bunker would never be allowed on network TV nowadays.
No.
But
Well, they show it.
Burton
Yeah.
Gilliam said they would, even back then when they were filming the movie Blazing Saddles, he said that he had a fight with them for everything to get
Sure.
it in. And some things he lost, and most of the time he got it through.
Yeah, they snuck them through sometimes.
But,
That's like the Dukes of Hazzard. They can't watch it on TV, but they'll show the movie.
I like when he said, Burton Gilliam, he was talking to Cleavon Little, and he had to say things that he wasn't comfortable in saying.
Right.
And he had to talk, and Cleavon Little pulled him to the side and says, "Listen, I could see you having some trouble with this. He says, listen, we're doing a movie. He goes, it's okay if you have to say your lines. He goes, but
Right.
once the movie's over and you say it, I'll get in your ass. He was kidding with him. But he made him feel comfortable to say, don't worry about it. I'm not going to get offended because we're
Yeah.
doing a movie.
And Richard Pryor was supposed to play that part. And something happened that he couldn't do it scheduling-wise, and it turned out to be the best thing because Cleveland Little was great in that.
Yeah, he was
Richard Pryor was one of the writers, though.
he was in a couple of, he was in actually Fletch Lives. He was the butler that turned out to
That's
be the
right.
FBI guy. When
That's right, yeah.
When he did the when he went to down to Louisiana and he was
Right.
trying to get the guy that the preacher Jimmy Bob or whatever.
Right.
And
I love the Fletch movies.
you see, that's something I would like to see done again.
Yeah.
Or not done again, but like maybe a sequel, like a final Fletch. But Chevy Chase is very hard to work with, and
Well, he's older now. He's not gonna be able to do those movies anymore.
yeah, so I would be nice.
But
to
certain
see-
classics you don't touch. It's like when Steve Martin. As much as I love Steve Martin, he tried to do the Pink Panther movie. Come on, you can't. You're not gonna. You don't touch that kind of stuff. And that's like it's a classic. With Peter Sellers. Those
I'll
movies.
tell you one thing that I thought he did well.
He's very good. I like Steve Martin a
I
lot.
have a massage for you.
I'll tell you one thing I think he did well. He did the Sergeant Bilko movie good. That was
Yeah.
funny. He was because he was.
That's different. That's
perfect.
from a TV series. He wasn't doing a
Well,
classic
Phil
movie.
Silvers was.
Oh, he was great.
you know.
Phil Silvers was incredible.
I love Phil Silvers. Was on Gilligan's Island. He played Harold Hecuba.
He always played the same kind of part. He always played like a shyster. Always a guy who was
But
a scammer.
I liked Steve Martin in Sergeant Bilko because he was
Right.
a shyster and it was cool. It was done well.
Yeah, it was done well. Yeah,
It wasn't like a blockbuster movie, but
but you don't touch a classic like the Peter Sellers Pink Panther
you
movies.
think they would ever be able to duplicate The Jerk?
Nah, why would you?
No, I'm saying I don't think they can pull that off.
Nah,
especially
certain ones you don't
nowadays.
touch. Certain ones you just don't touch.
I'll tell you what. I think I told you this, Paul. I would like to see them do Cannonball Run.
Yeah, you always say that. That would be a good movie to
with
redo.
like an all-new celebrity
All-star
cast.
cast, right?
And I picture Adam Sandler for some reason doing it. You know,
He would do something like that.
you know,
He did a good job with The Longest Shot. He did a great job.
That was great.
And I love the original Longer Shot. He did a good job with the remake.
Yeah, he
What
did.
about Smokey and the Bandit?
Yeah. Or any of those kind of movies. Yeah. But it's hard to. That would be hard because Burt Reynolds was the lead of that one. But the Cannonball Run, like he said, you got a lot of people in that.
Right, Smokey and the Bandits. That's a classic. You're
And it
not
got-
gonna get nobody to play
Yeah.
like Jackie Gleason's part.
And Cannonball Run, don't forget, is really a movie that was made after another movie. Gumball Rally was around way before that.
And the Cannonball Run's a real thing.
It's a real thing, yes.
Yeah, I remember Gumball Rally.
Yeah, with Michael Jared, I can't
Michael
pronounce his name.
Sarrazin.
Sarrazin,
yes,
that's it.
I remember that.
I won my bet.
And Raul Julia. It was one of his first parts.
Was it really?
Yeah,
I
he
won
made
my bet.
What's that? The Yankees?
No,
Raul Julia had he took the
it's an
mirror.
inside joke.
Oh, okay.
Raul Julia had the mirror, and he throws it away and goes, "We don't need know what's behind us.
What's the bet? Clue us in.
You don't have to sleep on the couch."
He's small. SM all. He
Oh,
called
that's
you
the-
small.
That's Dean Martin and
These
Sammy
bleeds?
Davis Jr. These bleeds.
I'm gonna take these bleeds and shove them up your ass.
These bleeds.
He goes, God is our co-pilot.
what about the doctor with the
Jack
finger?
Elam, and the eye. Jack Elam. That's another guy who's a character actor.
Is he dead?
Jack
Jackie
Elam,
Elam?
probably,
I think
yeah.
he's dead. No, I like when he goes, God is our co-pilot. Where's he going to sit? Our car, 2 seats. Where's he going to sit?
But look at Jack Elam. There's another character actor who was in every Western ever made.
The best is that Sammy
I'm
Davis
here,
Jr. played
JJ.
like a Jewish guy. His name was Fenderbaum.
Would you like some couscous?
Jamie Farr was the sheep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Williams. He was a good guy
Who
to
was
do
the
too.
Spanish guy who went through the hotel with the van? They crashed. And he gets out of the van. Where are the hookers?
Oh, that was a guy. That,
JJ, where are the hookers?
yeah, I remember. He was in a bunch of movies. His character movie. Mad Dog or something was his name.
No.
I noticed Terry Bradshaw was in a lot of those movies.
Hooper. He was. Yeah, he was,
He
in a lot
was
of
in,
those. Him and Mel Tills were a great team
Well,
together.
Do we got beer? Plenty.
What show was it? Hooper or something?
I'm talking about we're talking about the movie.
Inspired the Dukes of Hazzard, or was it the Moonshiners? One of those movies
I
inspired
don't know.
that show.
There was a bunch of movies in the 70s and
80s, yeah.
There was a movie. What was the name?
I accidentally walked on the set of Dukes of Hazzard once. Me and my wife, we got into Burbank Sewers. Me and my wife, she was my girlfriend then, and the drummer of the band. There was nobody at the guard gate. He must have went to the bathroom or something, and we walked right in. And once you're in the studio, no one messes with you.
Right.
And we just walk around the set, and all of a sudden we're walking. The city, the little town with the center of the town, they use it for every show and every movie.
Yeah.
They use it for Dukes of Hazzard. And me and my wife and Richie are walking down the block, and all of a sudden the guy goes, "Cut!" We were in the middle of a scene. We didn't know. We walked right to a scene.
Oh, wow.
And then we walked on the set of 1941. Remember the movie 1941?
Yes.
We walked in the scene where the whole city was all destroyed.
Oh yeah.
We walked in the middle of that set.
You know what? Speaking of the Dukes of Hazzard, and here's a trivia question for
Catherine
everybody
Bach.
out there. Out of the whole cast,
Catherine Bach.
who got the most fan mail on that show? It was a landslide.
Schneider. John Schneider.
I would say the guy who played Boss Hog. The boss?
No,
Boss Hog? No?
I'm not going to say
Catherine
who,
Bach.
but according, and this is factual too. Oh, he made it! My man, he's not in jail. Thank God. It's Mr. Tim Eli. Oh, what a surprise! He never disappoints.
Which guy got the most female?
Okay, according to a reliable source, the most fan mail received by a cast member of the Dukes of Hazzard was the General Lee.
Oh, the car.
The car got the most fan mail.
Here's the thing about it. You see, now we're talking about the car.
Right.
Because of the Confederate flag being on the roof of the car, they won't show that on TV.
Isn't
Are you
that amazing?
serious now?
Now, there's a fireman in Staten Island who at the firehouse around the corner from me had that car. People in the neighborhood complained about it, and they told him not to take it to work anymore.
Really?
There's a guy who has a house on Staten Island on Route 440, right off the Route 440 there, has a big Confederate flag on his roof. And I'm surprised.
Oh, I know. That's not too far from my old garage.
I'm surprised no one's ever.
Hey,
taken
Sarah Lee got the most fan mail from my sister.
Who did?
Sarah Lee.
Sarah Lee, yes.
Yeah, with all the
Nice buns.
Yeah, she's a big one.
I heard you got a yeast infection.
John Schneider.
Oh,
was
she
just
opened her
on
own
Dancing
bakery,
with
too.
The Stars, Nancy said. I wonder how's he doing on Dancing with the Stars.
Who?
John Schneider.
He's
Oh,
got
okay.
moves.
Well, they just
He's got
had their
moves.
48th anniversary, January 26th in Tennessee. You got Kuda's place or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, oh my God, that's.
Wow.
I used to watch that show. I wasn't crazy about it. I
Don't
used to get
forget
a
that
kid-
back then it was them. What was on Channel 2 that time?
We had Dallas back then, too.
The
I don't know.
Hulk. The Hulk was on.
Yeah.
The Knight Rider. Dukes
Knight-
of Hazzard.
Knight Rider. I was a big fan of. I used to watch a lot.
Most of the guys watched that because of Catherine Bach.
Right, Daisy
Those
Dukes,
Daisy Dukes
exactly.
were something, man. I'm
Her
telling
and
you.
also Heather Thomas in Fall Guy.
Oh yeah. You know that's another show
Yeah.
that
It kind of disappeared.
flew under the
Yeah,
radar.
yeah, that was
I
another one.
enjoyed that. Colt Seavers, Lee Majors, of course.
The
The
Fall
Brown
Guy.
and
What
Lee
was the other one?
Majors
What
is
was the
good,
other one?
Yeah.
Which one?
It was another show.
What that he did?
Oh, Thunder in Paradise with Hulk Hogan.
Oh, that was with.
Oh, okay.
And there was another one besides Fall Guys, something similar along those lines.
And you
What
had Knots
about
Landing with
Scott?
Lisa Hartman.
You know, your career is like taking a dive when your co-stars at Chimpanzee. There've been series.
Oh,
BJ
like
and the
that.
Bear?
BJ
Greg
and the
Evigan.
Bear.
He's another one. that's
Glenn
still on
Mulvaney. Yeah.
there. No, Greg Evigan.
Greg Evigan.
Evigan.
I was so close.
What
Oh, so close.
I haven't seen him since then.
No, he's probably working for a zoo somewhere or something. You know.
But they redid. What was that now? Fuller House now? They're ending their fifth season with that
Yeah,
new,
see, that's
the new one.
13 ribs, goddamn Mario's.
Hey, there. By the way, it was in the news today
Bruce-
too.
Bruce
Again, they're
Gordon.
rebooting Frasier.
Really?
Yeah, with Kelsey Grammer rebooting it. Yeah.
Wow.
I heard about.
I love that show. That's still one of the best
Well,
written shows.
they redid the other one, didn't they?
Everybody I talked to,
That's the best
they
written
don't
show.
like it. That was brilliant.
It was
that
brilliant
show.
writing. There
Oh.
wasn't one bad episode.
See, that's one of those shows where every cast member fired on all cylinders.
And that show wouldn't have worked if they didn't had the brother in the show. Because they kind of trying to outsnob each other.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it doesn't work, that show.
And the father was like the regular Joe.
He died.
six-pack. Yeah,
John Mahoney,
died,
yeah. He was the guy that always played a cop in all movies he was
Yeah,
in. Always
yeah.
played a cop.
Exactly.
He
and,
played the father in that Cusick movie around late '80s.
Oh
What
yeah,
was
the
it?
guy that was ripping
Say
off all
Anything,
the, yeah.
something. I don't remember what that, but it was a Cusack movie.
Right.
Well, he wasn't Kusick's father. He was Ione Sky's
Yeah,
father. He was
yeah.
he was working for like a nursing home, and he was like ripping off all.
There's
the
a trivia
people's
question for
money.
that. Who's Iona Sky's father?
Eye in the Sky.
Sky King. I
Iona
used
Sky,
to
her
watch it.
father, guess is Donovan.
Really?
Yes.
It
Sunshine
must be the
Superman?
season of the witch. I love that. Donovan's
Sunshine
classic,
Superman?
man.
Sunshine.
Son,
Superman?
that Donovan, yeah.
Oh my
Atlantis.
That was her father.
Yeah. See the Charlie's Angels things. I didn't care for the reboot.
Yeah.
With the, Drew
I wasn't big into
Barrymore.
that.
See,
No.
Well, they
were,
are
you know,
showing the other one on MeTV again.
Yeah,
I think they are doing a $6 million reboot movie. Or
Really?
something with Mark Wahlberg, I believe.
$6 million man's nothing for those
I
guys
could
today.
just picture like Mark Wahlberg's answer. Mark, we have a movie for you. I'll
No,
take
because
it.
of inflation, they're going to call it the $1 billion man.
Yeah. They have to adjust for the
Inflation.
national.
You ever see that guy's workout regimen for real? Daily?
Oh, he gets up at like 3 o'clock in the
He's
morning.
chiseled, man.
Yeah.
He is
He's
chiseled.
producing a lot of movies,
Yeah.
too. He's making
Yeah.
a lot of money because he's producing.
What's it? He gets up at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
He's
starts
got that,
working
the
out.
restaurants,
Yeah.
Wahlburgers.
I think he.
I used to love that show. That's
he
a great show.
financed that for his brother, right?
Yeah,
I think so,
Sure
yeah.
did. He was Marky Mark, right?
Yeah.
Yes. and
'Cause I knew he
Funky
was in the
Bunch.
boy band. I knew.
Sal, feel free to keep chewing your gum in the mic. It's okay. I'm like busting
It's a
his
good,
balls.
heel turn.
There you go.
I heard it's Angeletti gum.
Angie, yeah, it's
They make the cider,
angiogram.
too.
It's angiogram.
Yeah, look it up. Italian Angeletti Italian cider.
I believe it.
Right up on.
Is
Angie,
is
there's
it
a
liquor, or
sitcom
is it
for
just
you.
a plain cider.
My
They got
mother's
wine,
name.
I think there's wine and everything.
My mother's maiden name was Migliore. Migliore.
She pronounced it that way?
Migliore.
Some of the Italians say
Migliore.
migliore. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
So Tim, what happened? You all right? Everything's cool?
Found there's a new tax law.
Right.
It's called the TCJA, Tax Cuts and Job Action.
Okay.
Which means?
And basically what it means is that employers,
Break out the Vaseline.
you got more take-home money last year in your paychecks
Right.
because of this law, but you
Right.
pay for it the next time. But on top of it, part of the new law affected alimony.
Oh.
So I found the loophole. The alimony
It's
is
a write-off.
after 2018, you can't declare it anymore.
Oh.
But I was divorced before then. There's my loophole. Let's go
Lucky
make.
bastard. You got out just in time.
I was shitting like you wouldn't believe, man. It was a difference of about $6,000.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
jeez.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's where I'm coming from. We hammered it out. Nobody's fault. It's a new tax law. This is the first time these people have to deal with a tax return.
This is the last year of the IRS anyway, so be gone soon.
Well, it depends on how long of a shutdown they
No,
have, too. If they can shut down long enough, they'll have the jobs for 3 more years, yeah?
No, if it shuts down, they can take him out and not bring him back.
You think they will?
If he has a shutdown, I don't know if he's going to do a
It's
shutdown.
supposed
If
to be the 15th.
Yeah, but
right?
if he declares a national emergency, doesn't matter about the shutdown. But if he has powers, he can just get rid of jobs and agencies.
Yeah.
He has the power to do that. So he probably wants to shut down.
So who's going to collect the money if they shut down the IRS?
The money's going to get absorbed into what they're trying to do. They already have the bill already in Congress already.
Yeah.
The bill is that when you buy something, you'll pay 14 or 17%. That's where the tax money comes from.
Hey,
You won't be paying tax whatever you make on the income, you make it all.
Hey, here's my impression of Nancy Pelosi seeing me naked. And that's not her hands.
No,
That's
you
the
gotta like this
snapper
too.
doing
You're
it.
like this too.
Yeah.
hey, you remember Dobie Gillis?
Yeah.
Yes.
Dwayne Hickman.
What's
Dwayne
his-
Hickman
and
man with the guy.
Bob
Man-
Denver?
Bob
Maynard G. Krebs.
Maynard G. Krebs, yeah. Would
The
you
little
like him
goatee.
as Maynard or Gilligan?
Gilligan, of course.
Maynard.
But he was great as
He
Maynard.
was cool. He was cooler as Maynard.
He was a
'cause
beatnik. He was a beatnik.
Now, Carla, obviously, I'm older than you, so I got to see a lot of these shows in reruns when I was like 6 years old. I was always glued to TV.
Oh,
Even
yeah,
at
me
6
too.
years
I
old.
was a TV junkie.
I actually saw rerun episodes of Amos and Andy. Believe
I
it or not.
love those shows. I have the whole series on
It
DVD.
was like on PIX 11 or something would show it.
I go to P4 manicolectomy.
Yeah.
Hello, Sapphire.
Madam Queen going like that.
That's a great series.
Oh, I'm going to give you an ultimatum.
I mean, I'll be
Look up
honest.
on YouTube. Look up Amos and Andy.
Yeah.
The Rare Penny. No,
Okay.
the Rare Nickel. The Rare Nickel.
Okay, will do.
That's the episode. That's one of the best ones.
I have to be honest. The only reason why I watched Petticoat Junction was because of the daughters.
Of course. Of
The
course.
middle daughter was my favorite.
Betty
by the way,
Jo.
and she was doing cigarette commercials
Betty
back
Jo.
then too.
Was
yeah.
that the redhead?
No, the
No,
brunette.
in the middle.
I liked her
Yeah.
the
What was
best
the,
too.
Yeah, oh,
all
God,
those
yeah.
good shows are being shown again.
But even the characters were
TV.
classic.
Well,
Uncle
oh,
Joe.
Yeah, they put him
Uncle
on.
Joe, he's moving kind of slow.
Hey, he'd go. What's the matter, Sam? You like fishing, don't you, Sam?
There's a character actor who was around forever, Edgar Buchanan.
'Cause I
He was
saw-
in
yeah.
everything.
Oh yeah.
I saw him in a movie. It was Cary Grant and
Mm-hmm.
Irene Dunn. I think it was Penny Serenade, and he was in that movie.
He's
That
in
movie was
everything.
In the 40s.
He
yeah.
was in everything back then.
Yeah, and if you just colored his skin, he could be like Samuel L. Jackson today. He is in everything.
Did you guys ever watch Ozzie and Harriet?
I did
I was,
too.
I was too young.
I
don't
did
remember.
too. Yeah.
I don't. I didn't care for
Right,
it. I
and
saw the
TV's
reruns.
got Burns and Allen, the George Burns and
Oh,
Allen.
those are great. Those are still great. She was
You know
great.
what? I didn't get the chance to see a lot of that.
They're on. It's on Antenna TV.
I
Yeah.
gotta watch the Burns and Allen.
You have to. She was a genius, man.
Harry Von Zell.
I think. Oh yeah.
He just walks around with a cigar like.
And George Burns could see everything that was going on TV. He'd watch everything they were doing. He was like watching on them all the time.
That's funny.
But
yeah.
they asked George Burns once, what's the idea? What's the secret behind your comedy? It's very easy. I just say to Gracie, "How you doing?" and I just let her go.
Yeah. And that's true.
It
yeah.
was the truth, man.
Yeah.
She was a genius. She's probably the funniest woman comedian of all time.
Funnier than Lucille Ball.
Different.
Not a big
Lucille Ball was
fan of
more
Lucy.
physical.
Yeah.
Right.
Gracie Adams was verbally
You know
hysterical.
what I found out that I didn't know, that Lucille Ball was the first female movie studio executive.
Right.
Oh yeah,
I
but you
didn't
know
know
what? She took that over from Desi because Desi Lou Studios.
There's
you know.
Studios.
Right.
And she was brilliant at it. I'm not saying that she wasn't.
And they're the ones that invented the 3-camera shoot. The 3-camera shoot.
But
They invented
Desi
that.
Arnaz was really the brilliant one. I mean,
Right.
you know, the stuff he came up with, you know.
Yep.
I think they were the first ones to be shown in bed together
Yes.
on TV.
Yeah,
They were
and that
probably-
was, and
Really?
the-
Because they
No,
had
no,
separate
no,
beds?
no, it wasn't them.
no.
Brady Bunch?
No, Flintstones.
Well, technically, it was the Flintstones. The first
Yeah, an
marriage.
animated boner back then. Nobody
Well, that,
cared,
that was
you know?
that was a real thing for the announcement of their baby on live TV. That would,
Oh yeah,
that day.
there was a yes, absolutely.
Fred Mertz said to Ricky once, "Hey, Rick, give Lucy this pill." Why, partner? Because it'll make Lucille Ball.
Well,
Fred Mertz, and they didn't get along with Fred Mertz at first, too.
well, William Frawley and Vivian Vance hated each
They didn't
other.
get along.
did. They
They didn't
sure
get
did.
along
They
at all.
could not get along. I don't understand. Well,
Well, they got along eventually, but at the beginning, yeah.
I heard Bill Frawley was tough to work with.
Well, he was an old-time, another guy from vaudeville days. He was an old-time
Yeah.
actor, man. He was around forever.
What was,
Miracle 34th Street.
what was
Yeah.
very surprising
Yeah.
to learn is that Marion Ross,
Right.
when we had her on, she says Tom Bosley was she was like
At first, they didn't like each other.
very strict and stern,
Yeah.
and she had a hard time working with him.
And they got along great. at
I
the
tell
end.
you what, though, watching them on TV, you would never think that.
They were
You got that
professionals. Professionals, man.
You know,
The first 2 seasons for sure of Happy Days, maybe 3, they were written by guys like Rob Reiner. It wasn't supposed to be a silly comedy.
Right.
And it was just like American Graffiti the first couple of seasons.
Exactly.
Well, that's
Fonzie
how-
was just a character.
Right.
That's all he was.
He was, he was
Then
just
they
a-
realized the big bucks are turning this into what we ended up seeing as Happy Days.
Right.
I
you know?
hated when it got stupid, like when they went like the last.
Well, he ran out of
episode.
storylines.
Where do you
eventually.
think they
really-
got the term "they jumped the shark" from?
I know.
You know,
It's
Yeah.
true. The Joni and Charge.
But
he
the
got
show
carried away.
didn't jump the shark. That's the thing. The
They
show
grew
got
up.
bigger than ever.
I
they grew up.
got blasted on Facebook because I fell for the hoax about Henry Winkler.
I know.
Oh,
I fell
saw
for
that.
it too.
I saw you guys going back and
I
forth.
fell for it,
looked
too.
it up right away as soon as I saw your post.
I mean, when I see some, I
I fell for it right
rarely
away.
You know, very rarely do I think it's a hoax. Because Penny Marshall, I'm like, oh, now Henry
Yeah.
Winkler.
Well, you know what? At the same time you guys were writing about this, he was on the cover of the Weekly Parade magazine. It comes
Right.
with the newspapers. So I'm thinking something's funny here. you
Yeah.
know?
It's funny.
They did it with Stallone once too. They said he died. and
There was a
everything.
bunch of them,
Yeah.
but there was a picture of Henry Winkler in this sweater, indicative of an 80-year-old man.
Yeah.
Right.
And the caption read, "Could somebody? How do I explain to this guy, to my son, that this was one of the coolest guys on TV back in the day because he was the fun."
Yeah, that's a good point.
You
Hey,
know?
you know what's when you take some of the big 70s, definitely 70s actors from television, Henry Winkler's a good example, and suddenly Hollywood is thinking, we got to give this guy a push.
Right.
And they put Winkler in a couple of movies, and, you know, they were worth seeing once.
He's
But
got a
he,
new
but he was
book
known as the
coming
Fonzie
out.
after that point.
But they put him in a movie
he did Christmas
when he was that big with Sally Field and Harrison Ford. It was called Heroes.
Yes.
Right.
And the Fade Out song was Carry On Wayward Son. I mean,
No more. He was good in no Night Shift. It gave Michael Keaton the whole career.
yeah, it did. It
was
did.
a great
Oh,
movie.
this is Bill telling Chuck to shut
Yeah.
up.
Hey kid, you like music? Yeah.
Didn't he write children's books just recently?
Oh, he does now, yeah.
He's got a new book out. I'm this close to get. I've been trying to get him for 3 years.
I saw
I'm
him
this
at WizardCon
close.
a few years ago in Manhattan.
He's supposedly one of the most well-liked people in Hollywood.
Yeah.
He is.
Oh,
one of
I'm
the most-
sure he
Did you
is.
see a Night Shift when he's on the train and the guy's playing the saxophone? He gets him like some money, and the guy keeps playing. And then he opens up his checkbook and starts writing a check to the guy.
Michael Keaton, one of his brilliant, he was always had these brilliant ideas. The one I remember, which was funny, I don't remember them all, was, we'll feed the tuna mayonnaise.
Right.
And when the fish die,
Right.
tuna salad.
And also edible garbage.
How you can get that anywhere now, for God's sake, man. Especially when you marry like me.
I like when he goes, what are we gonna do? We're gonna be love broken.
Love. And then Ron Howard. That was Ron Howard.
His first
directing,
movie.
Yeah.
That was his first
His
movie.
brother's got a role in the movie. His brother was in Gentle Ben when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The
Clint-
Bear
Clint.
movie.
Yeah.
Rance Howard, right?
Is Penny Marshall?
Clint, that was the father.
Rance was the father. Clint was the
Rance
son.
was the
Clint,
father.
that's right, yeah.
He's in everything. He was in Star Trek. He played an alien.
Yeah, Clint was the in the Tango and Cash. He was Kurt Russell's bunkmate.
Yep.
Had
Yep.
him tied up with the coils in the bed.
He's been in a lot of movies, Clint.
Listen, I would be ecstatic with a career like he's had, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
And how ego-less was it of Ron Howard to step aside and let Henry Winkler become like the star of the show? Because it really was Ron Howard's show, and he just said, "Yo, it's fine." He was very nice with
character
it.
just took off.
The show took off after that.
It's
Yeah.
amazing how you have somebody like Ron Howard and his brother Clint, and how it's like A to D list. You know what I'm saying? It's so.
well, I wouldn't say Ron's a D-lister. He's pretty big behind the camera.
No.
No, he's talking about Clint.
Oh, Clint. Yeah,
He
yeah.
had small
Ron's
parts.
an
He always had
A-lister.
small parts.
Yeah.
Guys, just the directorial stuff he's
From
done.
what we're concerned, yeah. But I bet you if we look up Clint Howard's behind the scenes, behind
Yeah.
the camera.
Yeah, I'm sure he's
Career.
He's
It's
probably
not half
done stuff,
bad.
but
Yeah.
it's just like you see Drew Barrymore and her brother John.
Right.
He's on, you know.
Well, that's Hollywood royalty. That family.
you know.
There's the other ones too.
Even with the Carradines.
Can't think of his name.
Oh, yo, God, yeah. Because Revenge of the Nerds, that was what? Robert Carradine, right?
Right, we
John
had
was
him
the
on the
old
show.
man. Keith,
Keith,
and
David.
David.
Yeah.
Keith was in a great freaking movie in the mid-'80s. It was called Southern Comfort.
Yes.
They're the Army Reserve guys?
Right.
And they get stuck in the bayous of Louisiana, and all the
Oh, yeah,
Cajuns are trying to kill them.
What
It's
about
like a Deliverance
the
type.
Cassidy?
Yeah, it was
What?
damn good.
Was
Powers
from
Booth.
the Partridge Family, the Cassidy, the mother.
Oh yeah. That was a stepmother. That was a
Yeah,
stepmother.
Shirley
Stepmother.
Jones.
Jack
yeah.
Cassidy.
Was
yeah.
she with the guy on the show?
No,
No,
she was
no,
married to Jack
In re-
Cassidy.
in real life, was she with Mr.
What do you mean, Ruben Kincaid?
Yeah,
No.
was she
No,
with
no.
him?
The manager?
No.
I don't think
You mean the
so.
characters? You mean?
No, not in the show itself.
No, she was
Weren't
married to
they
Jack
around?
Cassidy. She was married to Jack Cassidy.
Jack
The
Cassidy.
actor.
Yeah.
And after that, back then anyway, she was married to Marty Ingalls for
Right.
a lot
But
of
wait
years.
a
Marty
minute,
Ingalls.
wasn't Jack
I'm
Cassidy-
Dickens, he's Finster.
Fenster. I love
Yeah,
that show. John
I did
Aston.
too.
And,
Wait a
yeah.
minute. Wasn't Jack Cassidy came out
Oh, I don't know.
as gay?
No,
I
that I
have
know
no
of.
idea. He
That I
died
know
so
of.
many years ago. Nobody was
Oh.
coming out back then.
He's played some great roles too.
I did. He was good.
I
He
could have
was good.
swore he did.
2 minutes to midnight.
All right, Gene, let's get Patrick Kilpatrick on the phone.
Wow. See how it went by. See how it
Billy,
flies?
we come on at 7:30, not 8:30 anymore. You're an hour late. So next week, if you're an hour late, you're fired.
Probably has the same
You're
tax
gonna have to
preparer as
turn
me.
that up, Gene.
He will once it gets on.
Hello.
Hi, Patrick.
Hello.
How
There
are
we
you?
go.
All right, everybody. It is 8:30. Joining us now is a tremendous actor and author. He's got a new book out called "Dying for Living: Sins and Confession of a Hollywood Villain and Libertine Patriot." Please joining us for the first time on the Animal House radio show via American Forces Network. Give it up for Patrick Kilpatrick.
Yay! Thanks for calling in.
Hey.
Thank you so much, Patrick. I
Hello,
appreciate. It's a pleasure and an honor, and thank you for taking some time out of your schedule.
You got to be like the busiest man in Hollywood, man. You're working all the time.
I got to tell you, your name sounds like it should be a Tarantino movie, you know? Patrick Kilpatrick, you know?
Well, we're gonna have to.
I saw Quinn just the other day at a coffee shop, and I talked to him, and I said, I want you to do this film. And he said, I'm not interested in acting anymore. And so I said, well, I'll pay you with a Colt 45, a Commander. And he said, that sounds interesting, actually.
Turns out he just liked malt liquor.
Or guns.
Yeah.
Oh boy, Patrick, I don't know where to begin with you. You
Yeah,
have
it's
such
amazing.
a story, 170 films under your belt, and you show no signs of slowing down. I've been a fan of yours for as long as I can remember. You
Yep.
played some of the most
Great bad guys.
You're
Great
the,
bad guys.
You're the
Yeah.
quintessential Hollywood bad guy, the heavy that everybody loves to hate. Just for the fans, since it's your first time with us, how did it get started for you? Was acting something you set out to do, or that just happened along the way?
No, my earliest heroes were writers and the characters in their works. And so I set out to be a writer and went to New York and quickly ended up writing either advertising or journalism for every magazine in New York and most of the ad agencies. And then I took a break from Time Incorporated, which was kind of the top of the food chain for that thing, and I ascended to that. And then I took a break from that to write a novel because I thought real writers wrote novels and not just journalism and advertising.
Right.
And so I ended up splitting a house with an actor, becoming a huge Broadway director, a guy named John Tillinger. And to pick up extra money, I started working as his assistant director on Broadway in the West End of London in the Kennedy Center. And then I got exposed to acting that way. And so I was asked to join theater companies as the play selector, something they call the literary manager. And then I started acting in the plays, and I was seen by agents and managers, and it just took off.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
I studied for that period all around town, but I was very lazy. I would take one scene to 9 different classes. But actually a very good technique because you end up with a very multi-layered performance because everybody has something different to say
Right.
about what you're doing.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So it wasn't calculated, no, but it certainly was meant to be.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, absolutely. The book Dying for Living. I didn't get a chance to read it, but I definitely am going to pick one up, and I recommend everybody.
That's like my girlfriend saying, I saw a shirt that was so wonderful, and I was thinking about getting it for you.
No, I really am. I'm just so busy with stuff, but it sounds so interesting. I mean, you're such a successful actor. What was the prompted you to do this book at this time? Was it just the timing, or?
Well, I never stopped writing, but mostly the energy for the last, since about 1980, late 80s, has been writing scripts.
Right.
Either writing scripts with things that I was hired as an actor on, or stuff that I was commissioned to write the script, or scripts for my own film development company. But I wanted to do a book because I had a lot of stories
Right.
and a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff.
Which people love.
And
People love that stuff.
I wanted to do something that didn't require millions of dollars to get done,
Right.
and that I could do without a large group of people to collaborate with. So this kind of fit the bill. And I knew I was a pretty good storyteller and writer from all the journalism advertising time.
Right.
Wow. Well, I'm definitely, and for everybody out there, you could definitely pick it up. I believe it's on Amazon and your website, patrickkilpatrick.com.
It's Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. There's Audible, narrated versions, softcover, hardcover. If you want an autographed copy and you can't get to one of our signings, like I'm going to Dallas tomorrow,
Right.
then you can go to patrickkilpatrick.com and we'll ship you out an autographed copy.
Cool.
Oh, definitely. Patrick, just out of curiosity, with the book signing, so you're going to be in the Northeast at all?
Well, I was in West Hartford, Connecticut, and I headlined a writers' event at the largest Barnes and Nobles in the country in Union Square in Manhattan. So not for a while, but probably.
Right.
So, I come from Connecticut
Right.
and Virginia, so I'm usually, there's some reason it takes me back to New England. Is that where you're talking about?
Well, New York, New Jersey,
Yeah,
Connecticut,
we're
and
in
tri-state.
Jersey
Yeah.
right now, so I was.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be back there. Right now, we've got a tour in the summer. I call it the Great Western Book Signing and Fly Fishing Expedition in Colorado and Wyoming and Montana next August and September. And I'll put something together sooner or later in New York.
Sounds like a fish story.
By the way, Volume 2 is coming out. And part of the agreement with the publisher is they always do a big event in New York. So, yeah, I'll be back to New York.
Oh, okay. Well, then we're gonna have to definitely keep our eyes open for that. I'd definitely love to come out and see you and show the support.
I'd love to have you come over.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I love it. So many great movies he's been in. I don't know where to start, man. I really don't. Under Siege, you're in that one. Doctor too. Eraser. I love those movies.
You're in my favorite, Presidio with Sean Connery.
Yeah. Yep.
How was it working?
Yeah, well, all of those. I talk about all of those things. I hope very entertainingly, and a couple of things about Sean. I want you to know that Sean Connery is such a consummate actor that the voice that he uses for the world is different from his normal voice.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yes, that's funny.
Let it know.
Yeah, he's slightly, his voice and accent is slightly more working class, so he's actually doing a dialect whenever he's talking to the world.
Right.
Oh wow.
And of course, carnal knowledge of Steven Seagal's Mistress 4 hours after I got on the set. That plays into the Under Siege 2 narrative.
20,000 Leagues Under the Siege.
That sounds like a third book there.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Yeah, that's a whole chapter.
Patrick, can I ask you?
It was a special time.
Patrick, I have to ask you a question. Out of all the characters you played, which was the one you enjoyed the most as far as fun, that you really enjoyed playing the part?
Of all the jobs?
Yeah, of all the characters you played, which was your favorite one to play? I know it's a hard one.
Good question, but the truth is they're like children. You end up loving them
Oh,
all.
yeah.
God, that is cool.
You kind of, I thought you were going to say job, probably the most fun job. I mean, I've had fun on jobs of all types. So the truth is you love all of them for different reasons.
Right.
If it's a little low budget thing, you might find some emotional gift with the acting you're doing. Or you might, you mentioned Under Siege 2. I mean, every stunt guy in town was there, and they're the most ribald, irreverent people you can imagine. So it was fantastic to do that job with them in the glorious Rocky Mountains. You know, the westerns with Tom Selleck, you're with horses and you're out in beautiful landscape, and so there's always something to really enthrall what you're doing, even if it's like I did a horror movie called The Cellar that I call the horror movie with no horror, but I got my dog on that one from Jerry Sandling's mom. So, I appreciate that character too.
Right. Well, look at this. The dog gets a SAG card, and I can't even get one.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm sagging, all right.
Okay, which one? Let me put it this way then. What was the movie that you had the most fun on? Not it hasn't to do with the movie, just the most fun you had on the set.
Well, Under Siege 2 is probably up there, but also there was a show you may not remember called Tour of Duty. There was a Vietnam show.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And Steve Caffrey and Terry Knox are two of the funniest human beings on the planet. And that was and it was all guys, and we had guns and helicopters.
Yeah, I like that already.
We're throwing Viet Congs out of helicopters. It was a pretty hysterical show.
As God is my witness, I thought they could fly.
It's hard to beat Steven Spielberg on Minority Report.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
Working with Colin Farrell and Tom Cruise and all those guys.
Right.
I've had a grand time, whether it's a low-budget film or a big studio movie. Sometimes the low-budget films are even more fun because you get there and 5 minutes later you're doing your own stunt driving and you're shooting weapons out the window and screaming an Irish dialect and dialogue that you're making up as you go along. So sometimes improvisationally, those jobs are great.
Yeah, right.
I would say Jean-Claude Death Warrant was very rigorous.
That was a great movie.
It's not a lot of fun when you're fighting 14 hours a day, but the product ended up good, and that's basically what you care about.
Right.
Patrick, let me ask you, I'm a huge fan, and I want to ask you this question, and in no way is it an insult. I mean, you have such... you have studied acting, and you've done theater. Do you ever when you get cast for stuff, and look, I know every actor loves to work. Do you ever say to yourself or say to them, listen, I love to be the villain, and I'm grateful for the work, but do you ever say to them, listen, there's more to me than just being the quintessential bad guy?
Yeah, I do. Mostly I say that to my agent.
Right.
Sure.
In the independent film world, they kind of let me pick and choose what I want to do.
Right.
As far as the parts go. But institutional TV, you can only do what you're allowed to audition for.
Right.
So it's really something that I had a family for a long time, and I still do. I've got 2 sons, and I just paid the last one's college fees. So you want to keep working
Right.
and turning things over. I get a little bit more freedom in the independent film world, which I'm really like. I'm going to play the president of the United States in a movie called Burn Off.
Oh,
And we're in post-production now on something that I'm directing called Active Shooter. And
Right.
so I like playing the villains.
Sure.
Right.
Sometimes they give the front guy a lot more money, but that's
Right.
Right.
when you're going head-to-head with them. But sure, there's a lot of other stuff I'd like to do.
Yeah. I would think that playing the bad guy is fun and juicy
Oh,
part.
it
It's a
is.
fun, juicy part, I mean,
legally
There's no
you can do
question
anything.
It's fun, and it's really rich territory as an actor.
right.
And I've really enjoyed doing it. Certainly, there's other but I'm not the only person in town. They do the most expedient thing they can,
Right.
Right.
which is particularly in institutional TV.
Right.
But I've played a lot of different people. People don't realize I actually played a bunch of good guys in the beginning, and then there were some good guys in some westerns and things like that, and Deep Space Nine. So there's been
That's
at
right.
least a smattering of good
Star
guys
Trek.
in
I
there.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's right. You besides Active Shooter, you also have 2 other. I mean, this guy is working constantly.
He is.
You have Nightwalk and you have Catalyst also coming out too.
Yeah, Catalyst is a really interesting project directed by a young director named Chris Volkin and produced by a guy named David Bianchi, both very talented young filmmakers. I play a pedophile priest in that one.
Right.
Very interesting experience researching all of that.
Pick up today's
we did
newspaper.
a third of it, and then they just procured their monies to finish it. So I'm excited about that one.
Right.
Nightwalk is pretty much done, and we shot that in Morocco, and a lot of fun to do because they let me improv my whole way through the whole movie.
Oh, that's great. That's fun.
So I was able to insult every cultural group on the planet
Oh, Lord.
in one movie. So I'm looking forward to see how that one's cut together.
Right.
If you had your choice, Patrick, if they said, "All right, play any kind of character you want," do you have any desires that you want to do personally that you feel you need to do? Is there anything that you feel you still need to accomplish?
You haven't done that you want to do?
Well, I have some really quality scripts that I've written that I hope that will be made into movies. They're expensive, relatively speaking, although I think we've heroically budgeted them and developed them well. So, but I hope those get done. That's, have you all read the Prey novels by John Sanford?
I know of them.
Yes.
Well, he's a great writer, and he has a character named Lucas Davenport that I'd love to have played. Unfortunately, those books have been tied up in a bankruptcy with MGM for a long time.
Oh, jeez.
But there's a lot of stuff. More often than I think there's projects I'd like to have gotten on.
Right.
I'm very fatalistic. If God and the universe want me to act, all of a sudden there's a job there.
Right.
So I just keep doing what I do. I'm pretty enthralled with my life as a writer right now with the Volume 2
Right.
and the promotion of Volume 1 of Dying for Living. So And I do a lot of teaching, which I really enjoy doing. A lot of I do private. In fact, I'm going to Dallas to teach a seminar and do a book signing at the same time tomorrow.
Right.
And I do coaching with groups and privately here. And it's nice to send those people out with the right skill set to achieve what they want to achieve.
You know what? We need more of that, Patrick, because I'm, as far as I'm just so frustrated as a viewer and a fan of movies and TV about how they just keep putting up these reboots and
Yeah.
I mean, you mean to tell me there's not a fresh idea in Hollywood that somebody can come up with that they got to reboot all these old TV shows? I mean, and there's a wealth of acting to pull from. I just don't get it.
Well, the problem, and this is what it's been for probably going on its second decade, is an original idea, and all the scripts that I've written have been original. It's the hardest thing to get made here because there's a phrase called previously existing intellectual property.
Right.
And that's why the studios do comic books and reboots and television shows. And they're not filmmakers. They're money guys. And therein lies the thing. To get them things financed, let's take a guy like Martin Scorsese.
Right.
Martin Scorsese and a mob, okay, we'll finance that.
Right.
Martin Scorsese and something else, no, they're not going to finance it.
Right.
So everybody has to confront this terrible reality that the studio system is kind of gone unless it's a comic book or a reboot of a television show.
Right.
That leaves it to the independent film world to come up with original ideas and to do it. And financing is soul killing. I mean, it's a sickness if you believe that you don't need money to make movies. You do, and it's a tough nut to crack. I mean, you really have to be very skilled at raising money and very skilled. Unfortunately, a lot of filmmakers are not very good at bringing the money back to the investors and putting them into profit and interest. I'm very proud, actually, that we've made money for everybody we've ever worked with.
Right.
But I think I'm the only filmmaker on the planet that can say that.
Right.
I'm really dedicated to our investors. The truth is, a lot of filmmakers, if they know how to make a good film, they don't really know the business inside and out in order to bring that back to the investor.
Right.
So there's a lot of challenges in the film business. I think Hollywood is a grace-infused, extraordinary place, and it certainly has been a wonderful place for me to thrive as a working actor. But it's also a broken place in a lot of ways.
Right.
I call Hollywood the culture of theft. If you have an original idea and you run it into the major agencies or the studios, they're going to take everything original out of that project, and it's going to end up in 10 different projects.
Yep.
And they're not going to finance your project. So you have to learn how to relate to those institutional entities, which is another thing we teach people how to do.
Well, that's great. Tim, you had a question?
Yeah, Patrick, you mentioned the analogy of Scorsese and doing mob movies. Is there any advantage at all to having a major acting name? Like, for instance, Scorsese's got The Irishman coming out with De Niro, Pacino. So if De Niro were to come forward and say, look, Hollywood, I really want to do this particular script, is there any advantage there?
Well, of course, there's a lot of films, unless Mel Gibson had wanted to do Braveheart or Apocalypto or The Passion of the Christ. Those things wouldn't happen. You have to understand, though, that he funded a lot of those projects.
Right.
I'll give you an example. Clint Eastwood. To answer your question, yes, top actors, the top tier, can make things happen. They need to exercise their power, and they do. In the same way that top directors like Spielberg and those kind of people can. But I'll give you an example like Clint Eastwood. You know, he's been a director, delivered on time, on budget for 35 years. The studio wouldn't finance $1 Million Baby. They had to find 80% of the budget from an individual before they could do that movie.
Oh, wow.
So it's not like the studios are sitting there waiting to give things to creative people.
Yeah.
It comes about by a supreme act of will by the people who want to get it done.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Now, places like Netflix and stuff like that, they've got an awful lot of money and they're bankrolling a lot of things, and God love them.
Yeah.
Well, that's, yeah.
So, you got to come up with the right thing, and you got to know the right people, and you've got to know how to connect with them, and you've got to know the business so you don't get taken to the cleaners.
Absolutely.
There's an A-lister from many years ago. Well, obviously no longer A-lister, but he's trying. Is a movie script he believes in, and he's actually reaching out for funding on places like Facebook, for instance. You know what I mean, to get this flick made. So I kind of understand that.
Yeah. Patrick, let me ask you. You know, they sent me over. I knew a lot about you as a fan, and as I couldn't believe it that you were actually a bodyguard for some of rock and roll's elite groups, and that's amazing. How did you get a gig like that?
Well, after university, I moved to New York to follow my then girlfriend, who later became my first wife, and her best friend, a girl, her boyfriend was putting together a crew of these people that was mostly New York Jets in the off season. And so I was asked to join. You know, I was a big strapping guy, although I think I was about the second smallest person on this group, these Jets. So, yeah, I was incredibly lucky. I was making a lot of money doing that. Much more than I was as a writer during the day for a long time. And I was very much like everybody else at the time into rock and roll. And so I got to be up close with people like Jimi Hendrix and Elvis and the Beach Boys and Rod Stewart and
Jethro Tull,
Humble Pie and all of that.
Jeff
so,
Beck.
It was a great experience.
We just saw Jeff Beck recently, man. What a guitarist. God almighty.
Patrick, is it true what they say that what happens on the tour bus stays on the tour bus?
What happens what?
I said, is it true what they say? What happens on the tour bus stays on the tour bus?
Well, I certainly wasn't about to tattle on anybody. But, you know, it was just a lot of fun to be right there. I didn't see a lot of time on tour buses. I just saw a lot of time on stages.
Right.
You know, and backstage and those kind of things. So, I mean, I saw Hendrix so much I got bored.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's not because he was bored. It's just I heard it so much.
Right.
Oh, wow.
But
who's
Quicksilver, Messenger Service, The Grateful Dead.
Quicksilver.
Wow.
You know, it was a crazy, wonderful, inventive time music-wise.
Out of all the bands,
I mean, I used to see Bruce Springsteen.
Right.
And first of all, we started hiring Bruce Springsteen at the University of Richmond, where I went, for $500 a night, and went in between before he made it big. It used to be him and a piano. So. You know, he was with a group called Steel Mill first.
Right.
Wow.
And
a Freehold,
he was one of two singers. And then he had Steel Mill. What was the other band that he was with that he was the front person with? I forget right off the bat. But just a lot of that stuff flowing through Ike and Tina Turner, flowing through my life at that junction.
Out of all the bands that you worked with, which ones had the most fanatical fans? I don't know.
Well, I guess you'd have to say the Grateful Dead.
Really?
They also have the Hells Angels.
That's right.
Working with them.
Right.
So when we worked with the Hells Angels, they got to kind of do whatever they wanted.
Right.
You weren't about to stop them from creating up the statue of Da Vinci's David or whatever. It was in the Academy of Music lobby or something. They decided they wanted the statue. They could take it. It was fanatical fans, probably the Grateful Dead. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You know, you have those. It's a whole society that follows them around.
Yeah.
You mentioned Elvis Presley, if I'm not mistaken?
You sure did.
Say again?
You mentioned Elvis, right?
Yeah, Elvis, actually, it's funny. He was in that Suspicion's Mind period.
Okay, 70s. Yeah.
I didn't even think he was all that cool at that juncture.
No,
Yeah,
When I
was-
look back
that was
on
about
it, I
it, yeah.
realized it was pretty cool. But, you know, when you at that juncture, when you lined him up next to the Stones
Yeah.
or the Doors or
Right.
some of these other people, he wasn't really the coolest thing on the block
Right.
at that juncture.
That's when
But,
the downfall started to happen.
You know, he has his rabid fans, too.
Oh, yeah.
I always
Yeah.
wished I had been his manager during that period to have him do some different songs. But, of course, you know. But now I love Suspicious Minds.
Yeah. Wow, I tell you.
No, great song, but that period of his
Yeah, it was near
music, he
the
was
end.
singing to our mothers. He wasn't singing to us
Yeah,
anymore.
it would change.
you
You
know?
had the Beatles and all those groups.
Exactly. Yeah, it was something.
Music changed.
Exactly. It wasn't. It was a little bit passe, and then it had to pass through that period
Right.
and get into the really cool, extraordinary stuff again.
Right.
I mean, we saw Ike and Tina Turner. It was just part of that circuit down there.
Right.
Oh, wow.
She had to be resurrected as well.
Right.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That was an abusive thing going on there.
Yeah.
I tell you, you know what, Patrick, we could talk to you all night, but I know you have to get to an event, and I cannot thank you enough from the bottom of my heart for taking this time with us. Just know that anytime you want to come on, especially when Volume 2 comes out, you have an open door. I hope to get to see you if you come to the Northeast, New York, Jersey, New York area, signing a book. And I want everybody out there, especially all our
Armed force people. Yeah.
our servicemen and women around the world who listen to us every week. Dying for Living, Sins and Confession of a Hollywood Villain and Libertine Patriot. Definitely pick it up. It's on Amazon. It's on Barnes & Noble. And if you want an autographed copy, which I highly recommend, why wouldn't you want an autographed copy?
I want to mention to you that a goodly portion of the proceeds are going to Disabled Veterans of America.
Oh,
There
that's
you
nice.
go.
Bravo.
So,
That's great.
What more reason do you need?
My dad got a Silver Star and a Purple Heart in World War II. He was
God bless him.
underwater demolition team guy, and I've always been predisposed to veterans and the military. And
Right.
God bless you for broadcasting to them, and thank you. And I love you to all of the men and women in uniform and in service out there around the world. So one of the best things I ever did was go to Afghanistan to meet and greet the troops. That was so much fun.
Wow.
Yeah, that is great. And you know what?
That's great.
Continued success. Paul has a question
Yeah,
for you
Patrick, could you do a station ID for us?
before you go.
Yeah.
Sure, of course.
Okay.
What is it?
Okay, just introduce yourself and then say you're listening to the Animal House radio show on the Hamilton Radio Network. I know it's a lot, but
Hamilton, like Alexander Hamilton?
Correct.
yes,
Yes.
yeah. So Animal House radio show on the Hamilton Radio Network.
Wow, this is a lot.
I know. I know.
No, I'm kidding. Hi, this is Patrick Kilpatrick, and you're listening to the Animal House radio show on Hamilton Radio.
Yes.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Patrick, thank you so much.
Thank you.
God bless. Continued
Take care.
success. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Thank you, sir.
A nice man.
Who else
great.
but Animal
Right
House
now.
Radio brings on such quality guests
He is
week after week after week?
and
Animal House
amazing.
Radio.
Is this a quiz?
Kudos.
Is that a quiz? Is that part
Kudos.
of the quiz?
Sirius Radio isn't doing this. Nobody's doing this.
Put
Animal
down
House
that.
is.
I just, I can't wait to get the book. It's
Yeah.
got to be an amazing.
I love behind the scenes stuff. I
Oh
love that
yeah.
kind
Oh,
of
God,
And
yeah.
it seems like
That gives you chills. and all
It
that.
seems like he does a lot of tell-all, and dishes the dirt, which is cool. It doesn't
Yeah.
seem like it's harmful stuff, but
Yeah.
interesting stuff.
I didn't get to ask him how he likes directing. I want to ask him that because that seems like that's what he's getting
that'll
into now.
set us up for a part 2
Yeah.
with him, you know. And I would just love to hear the stories on being on the road with
sure.
this band. My God, with the
He says
group.
the book is in audio form too. That'd be cool too. He's probably narrating it.
Oh wow.
With
yeah.
that voice, it's worth
Yeah.
listening to.
Yeah.
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 I like narrate. I like when
Fantastic,
people
man.
narrate their books.
Tim, you're off camera. You got to come in a little bit.
Where's he
because
gonna come?
you
The table.
came
He
in
came to the
late.
table.
I think because we set up the camera because we didn't think you were coming. That's all right.
Put down that NA.
No, I personally understand. I didn't think I was going to make it at all tonight.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm so happy that you showed up.
Me too. When we're off the air, I'll give you
I
some
gotta-
good news.
Is it
but
true what you heard? The Undertaker's going to be a chiller? Where, in Atlantic City?
Not the chiller, the
Which one?
If I keep smoking, he's going to be in my bedroom.
The Monster Mania.
Oh, Monster Man. Where is that?
Where-
That's down in Cherry Hill. They do it.
When?
When?
They do it in March and August. They do it like. a
Which
couple
one is he
times
going
a
to
year.
though? The
Which
March
one? The March one?
I think it's August.
Okay.
Oh, I gotta wait a while then. All right.
Yes, I gotta. All right, then I gotta fix my wig.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you something. Really good stories for The Undertaker. Ask him about his days with WCW when he was mean Mark Callis.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Him and Sid Vicious were teaming up.
Wow.
And he did incredible stuff. And that's what I was watching back then. I wasn't watching McMahon.
Right.
But he's got some stories.
That's still my
He
favorite
really is.
character. It was my favorite wrestling character of all time.
I think mine was
Who, the
Kamala, the Ugandan giant. Yeah.
He was funny.
The
looking.
Undertaker's your favorite?
Yeah, I just love the character. I just think it's a great
Yeah,
character.
it is. And
My-
they did it right. Percy Pringle, God rest his soul, was a
Right.
perfect manager
Oh,
for
yeah.
him, too.
My
you know.
favorite, two favorites. I have, and they're tied for first. It's Roddy Piper and Andre.
Piper was
Piper
awesome.
Pit.
Yeah. I
Come
should
on,
say-
Jimmy. One coconut.
I used to love.
I was just thinking about that with Snuka.
He was just the quintessential troublemaker.
Yeah.
Roddy
started
was
up,
the
man.
best. Roddy
He had
was
the best lines.
Oh
He
yeah.
had the. What was that line he always did?
If you're gonna say the line,
If
you
you
gotta
had
have it ready.
If you had, just when you think you got the answers, I change the question.
Something
Yeah.
like that, yeah. When McMahon took over wrestling from his father,
That's when it
he
kinda
started
came back
spending
in.
the bucks. He brought in your Hogan. But Backlund was still champion.
Right.
I was there at the garden.
He brings in Paul Orndorff, chiseled, man, chiseled. Week later, he brings up Piper as Orndorff's manager.
Right.
Right? And they start the interviews, and Piper is like, "We don't want no fat broads touching us." I mean, it's like, we knew this is going to be a future
He was
here with
one
Piper.
guy that I never got a chance to meet. And
Yeah.
Who?
Roddy.
Roddy.
Piper.
Oh yeah.
Hot Rod.
And Andre was the catalyst for all that superstars of wrestling.
Did you watch his thing on HBO?
Oh my God!
That
if
was-
anybody has not seen that,
was
you
great.
have to watch that documentary.
was great.
It was a little heartbreaking too.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
sad at the end because
Yeah,
of
hard-
the guy
sad
Tim White,
life.
the referee that was telling it. He started breaking down while he was telling the
Yeah.
story. Yeah.
Talking about Andre now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nah, I never
yeah.
saw
It's
that
hard. Imagine going through
documentary.
life being over 7 foot. I mean, it's hard.
It's called what? Acromegaly or something, where the bones, like the skull, becomes
Yeah.
yeah.
Too,
He-
fast.
And he used to drink a case of wine and like it was.
Oh
nothing.
yeah, at one sitting. He used to do drop kicks when he was starting his career. That's how agile he was. By the time we all saw him with McMahon, he could barely move. You
Yeah,
know?
when he fought Hogan.
Yeah, WrestleMania 3 in
And
front
it
of
was-
93,000 people.
Yeah, there was a whole big thing that Hogan didn't know if he was going to pass the torch. Like
Yeah.
Andre wouldn't say, and even up like into the
Until
match.
like the last minute, yeah.
Yeah, like during the match, it was like towards the end of the match, he calls for the slam, Andre, because they used to give each other cues.
Yeah.
He calls for the slam, and that's when Hogan knew that he was like essentially passing the torch, because Andre was never defeated.
Yeah.
Nobody ever
Well,
pinned Andre.
yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
and he passed the torch, and he picked up Andre, and because nobody ever slammed on him.
Hogan didn't know that's what he wanted to do until he said it.
No,
to him.
until like that second. So
Yeah, Vince was like, "Don't worry about it." He knows. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Vince and Andre alone was knew the ending.
yeah, so but that was a very interesting documentary.
That was done very well.
Yes, it was.
What I missed, all the ones that have been on like ESPN, I've seen those. The one on Flair I thought was pretty good.
Yeah.
But I never got around to seeing the Andre one.
There
you
was
know.
a one.
Andre's a good one. Probably on demand now. You can probably see it on
I'm
demand.
sure.
There was a I don't know if it was Netflix or one of those. They did something on about Studio 54.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Steve Rebell and Ian Schrader. Ian Schrader is like a billionaire, and he owns like 30 hotels.
Surprised they didn't do one on Limoges yet.
Yeah, well, I mean,
The
Studio
book is
54.
out, but-
Yeah, is it really?
The book about Limoges is out. Yeah.
That was a
didn't
great
know
rock
that.
club. Great rock club.
Yeah, and that's just the way they.
I lived about 15 minutes from there.
Do you remember
That's the same area where they filmed Warriors when
Right.
they came off the
Right.
train on
Coney
60.
Island?
the end train on 62nd Street.
Was it yesterday or the day
Yeah.
before? 40th anniversary of the release of Warriors.
Isn't that scary?
Yeah.
That's scary.
Warriors.
Come out and play.
He was so annoying, that guy.
He was great. David
He
Patrick
went
Kelly.
on. He played
Great
what,
actor.
Luther in 48 Hours. What's
yeah.
happening, Luther?
He was one of those guys.
Hey,
that you
Luther, that's my damn dog, man.
just
He's
wanted
gonna
to
beat you
punch
with
him
the
in
ball.
his face. He's one of those annoying guys.
But I like the part in 48 Hours. This car's been here for 2 years. It was busy.
That's about charging.
Thanks
the
a lot,
battery.
Reggie.
Hey, Luther, he's liking that car door, Luther.
Which reminds me, I got
Commando,
confirmation that
Dreamscape.
they are doing that sequel finally. Eddie Murphy and
Yeah.
Arsenio Hall to the movie Coming to America.
Yeah,
they are making a
Sal
sequel.
was telling us. I didn't
Yeah.
even
You
know.
know what?
Good
You know what he was
morning.
also? Nobody else. He was in recently also. David Patrick Kelly. The one with John Wick. He's the one that comes and cleans up the bodies.
Yeah.
You're making
Oh
another
yeah,
John
yeah,
Wick.
yeah.
David
He
Patrick
was
Kelly.
that guy. Is that his name, David Patrick?
David Patrick Kelly. Yeah.
He was in
Dreamscape.
The Longest Yard with
Commando.
Adam Sandler's version. Oh yeah, he played Sully. He goes, "I like you.
Yeah, there was
this
a
is
lot of
my
wrestlers in
this
that
is
movie.
my good arm."
He's a great actor. Plays a great. Another guy plays a great crazy bad guy.
Yeah.
He's a little guy.
I know. It's fantastic the
Yeah.
stuff he did. And some of that stuff in the Warriors, the beer bottles, that was improvised.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't us. It was them.
Yeah.
When I saw that movie, I was living out in
Warriors.
California, me and my wife, and we go to the movie and we watch the movie. We didn't know because it was dark, you know. The lights come up after the movie's over, and we're surrounded by gangs in the movie theater.
Yeah.
And we're going, holy shit, we're not going to get out of here alive.
There's a TV program, not to switch gears, but
all right.
you know me, I'm big on the whole serial killer thing.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
that I
yeah.
want to be one. I'm just fascinated of why those people do
Do
what
what they
they
do.
do. And when I was in high school, I wanted to be a profiler.
Right.
That's what I wanted to study, and I do it like as a hobby. Like I said, I
Yeah.
read books and stuff.
What's that
but-
mean? You stand sideways the whole time?
Yeah. And I look like Jimmy Durante. Yeah.
Instead, he became a pro fitter.
Schnozzler.
So
It's a pro fuel
there's
pro
a
fit.
show on. I don't know which channel it's on. It's called Worst Evil Killers.
I've heard of it, haven't seen it.
All right, and they had this guy on. His name was Bobby Joe Long. They called him the classified ad killer.
Right.
And it's just, I mean, the guy was molested as a child. And then
Obviously.
he had like 3 different accidents where he damaged his frontal lobe in his head. And they said that was the turning. He
Yeah.
turned violent. And it's amazing. As somebody said, I forgot. You notice how all these guys have 3 names?
Yes.
You know,
Exactly.
Bobby Joe Long. And,
They do, too.
You know?
Well, if you can't be a profiler, maybe you can become a prophylactic.
John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah, right?
Be a prophylactic.
Lee Harvey Oswald, right?
You know, it's, I mean. It's,
What about, you ever see Killer Couples?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And
I was watching a little of
I
that, and I
just-
was like, what the hell?
I just love the names they give. The classified ad killer.
Yeah.
The
Oh, but the
green-
Zodiac killer in
Or the
California.
Zodiac. I was just thinking that
Yeah.
one. The
They never
Zodiac,
caught him.
man.
No, they never caught him. They weren't
So-
sure who did it.
They said,
Well, we had the Son of Sam in Brooklyn.
Yeah, but he
Oh,
supposedly he didn't work alone. He worked with the Carr brothers.
I thought
That
he
never
wor-
came out.
I thought he worked with a dog.
No, he's heard.
I was
He
gonna
said the
say the
dog was
dog.
talking to him. It was the
The
Carr
dog
brothers'
would
dog.
jump through a hula hoop that was on fire, then he'd go kill somebody.
"Did you see the thing they did on him a couple of years ago, David? But supposedly he gave his life to God."
Yeah, he
and
was born again. Yeah.
God didn't want it. He gave it back.
they
Not
did it.
taking this.
They were also talking about the Manson family too, and about
Right.
how But
Ted Bundy.
they just the
Yeah.
names they give these killers intrigues me. It's so funny though, and the what's crazy about it is, and like I always said this, like when they were talking about this one profile, they said when you catch this guy, he's gonna have a stutter.
Right.
How the hell would you know
That's a
that?
good point.
Probably from the phone calls.
You know, but they said like the Zodiac killer. They said the couple of reasons why he could be either dead, in jail, or he's fulfilled his need and he doesn't need to kill anymore, which is very rare.
Yeah, it
Very
is.
rare.
You know that you stop. the
It's easy to
urges.
trace a serial killer that stutters though, because you kept him on the phone for a long time. You could trace the call. I'm on next time. Okay, he's on 44th Street.
The
and-
FBI doesn't even have to do their job anymore. You know how they do their job? Somebody kills somebody, they put it on Facebook.
Yeah.
The FBI just starts scanning through
Oh,
Facebook,
yeah.
and that's how they catch people today.
I'm
Did you watch
telling
The Summer of Sam, that movie?
I
Yeah.
did.
Yes.
I did.
That was a great movie. He got
They thought Reggie Jackson did it.
no.
Remember?
The Son of Sam got caught because of a parking ticket.
Well, it was a couple of things. Yeah. They narrowed it down to the area. They knew what area he was doing it in. They narrowed it down. And then, yeah, the parking ticket was what gave
Nah,
it away.
Summer Sam was all right, but they did. There's that one scene where the gang, the local hood guys are trying to figure it out. They swore it was Reggie Jackson. Do you
he-
remember that part of the movie?
No.
Yeah, I gotta watch that.
They
But he
swore
actually
it was Reggie
admitted
Jackson.
he actually admitted that he worked with the Carr brothers. It was 3 of them doing it, and they just buried that. They just
Yeah.
buried it.
Yeah.
What was the were they actually doing that in the 70s, going around go, we'll find you son to seem like vigilante groups?
It
What I
was, yeah.
read back in the Daily News back then, yeah.
He was all around the Belt Parkway areas, man, right by the
Yeah, he, was
Verrazano.
in, he was in Brooklyn by me.
Yeah.
I was about
Was he really? What
Yeah.
part of Brooklyn did you come from?
Gravesend, Bensonhurst.
Oh, great.
There you go.
I was about 19, 20 years old
Ralph
right
Crampton.
around
They
that
call-
time.
They catch him on Shore Road or something like that.
I wouldn't take my girlfriend into shows or partying in New York because we didn't know him. I said,
right.
no
I think he got
frickin'
caught. Wasn't
way.
he in the Bronx when he got caught?
No, no,
thought
he
it was
was
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, yeah. He was all in the same area. He was doing everything in the same area.
Yeah, he
he didn't
did.
stray much. He was a mailman. He knew the area.
That movie they filmed where they were dancing in that club was on 86th Street off
Yeah.
18th Avenue.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I liked that. It was a Spike Lee flick, right? Somerset? I liked it.
Oh, was it really?
I think it was.
It was good.
Used to be a
I
great
liked
comedy club in that area where you were. It's called Toppers. It was great. It was right on.
Wow.
Yeah, it's Spike Lee.
That was a great club.
Michael Imperioli was in it.
Yeah.
I almost forgot about Top.
I used
Yeah,
to
Adrian-
love that club.
Adrian
Leguizamo.
Brody.
Leguizamo was in it.
Leguizamo.
Yeah.
he got
Rizzo
caught cheating
Avino?
on his girlfriend.
Yeah. In a porn club, no less.
That's so funny.
He gets done getting his off, turns around and look, and his girlfriend's with somebody else getting hers off, and that was it.
That got a little freaky though.
I
Like,
did.
it took a little bizarre turn in that movie that had nothing to do with the whole premise of the movie.
You're looking it up. Wasn't that Adrian Brody in that movie too?
Yeah,
He played the
Adrian-
kid
yep.
that was into
Yep, Adrian's in it.
Baba O'Reilly.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah. Adrian Brody. So he had a cast
Playing the
of
guitar in
characters,
that
yeah?
movie. Yeah.
Speaking of Adrian Brody, I love Cadillac Records.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
that movie about the how they with the heroin and
Yeah.
Etta James and he launched so many different careers.
Hell
in that
yeah,
movie.
man.
Yeah.
Hell
you ever
yeah.
see that movie, Paul?
Who?
Cadillac Records.
I don't know which movie. Is that the same one as like about the Too Short about Motown?
Not Motown, but he started this label.
Before- yeah,
and he had,
before
like-
then.
He had
Yeah.
like Muddy Waters.
What
Yeah.
happened to him lately? He's not doing anything anymore.
Who? Adrian Brody?
Yeah.
He won an Oscar and that was it.
He went down with the orca, right? Back in Jaws. Brody!
Chief Brody.
It's funny how sometimes some guys who can win an Oscar and then just disappear, like they can't get work anymore.
Yeah, they
Like you,
must-
like you.
They get finicky. They probably said, I'm not doing
No, I think
that."
just no one wants to pay the money anymore. 'cause the price
Or
goes
they
up.
just figured it's
Like
typecast. He was in the
Pat
perfect
said,
role.
you got to get all these movies. The budget, big money, is out. That's why Disney bought
right.
Star Wars and Marvel.
Yeah.
Now Marvel's trying to buy Fox because of the Spider-Man character getting all the rights to all these.
You know how much money they make in merchandising? That's why they're buying. this
Oh,
stuff.
God, yeah.
That's why they're buying this stuff.
Pajamas, regular T-shirts,
Lunch-
Halloween, lunch,
books,
yeah.
everything you can name.
Oh, yeah, they're cleaning up.
That's where they make their money. They make it on the merchandise.
Another big holiday or whatever it is that's very commercialized.
Yeah, well,
wow.
oh, yeah, not like Valentine's Day. Doesn't
what-
cost us a dime.
Tim, what are you doing tomorrow? Anything?
You want to?
Why you going out?
Oh, yeah, I'm putting on a costume. It's Valentine's Day.
You gonna run around as Cupid?
I came up with a good joke recently, and I forgot to write it down, but it's basically, what's the difference between Valentine's Day and me? Half my paycheck in head.
In the words of Reverend Bob Levy, "Come on, buy a shirt. Hookers ain't cheap." Paul, what do you got plans for tomorrow?
No, I'm off tomorrow.
You going anywhere with Lori?
No, we go the week after. We don't go when the crowds are out. We
Good
wait.
point for that. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
good
we don't
point.
go to
Going
I'm
to
seriously.
Monopoly?
We never celebrate our holidays or birthdays. We don't celebrate on the day. We wait.
Not seriously. I don't want to sound schmaltzy. When
Yeah.
you find the right woman, every day is Valentine's
That's
Day.
it.
Yeah,
You
we
know,
can go anytime.
seriously, yeah.
Yeah, we can go anytime.
You know, the
That's
honeymoon
me,
never ends. I believe that. It's just it has for me.
Yeah,
That's-
the holidays, those actual days don't mean, except for Christmas.
Yeah.
The holidays, we
Oh, you
celebrate
better-
when we
you
celebrate.
better
them.
not.
Good for you,
Christmas
man.
Eve, that's a tradition. You kidding me? I'll kill. But I'm spending my Valentine's Day with my lady love, Giselle.
God
We're
bless her,
going to
man.
Solo Trattoria in Freehold, New Jersey.
Solo Trattoria.
Great food. My friend Giorgio
Yep.
is a good friend of mine.
Yeah, I had a feeling you didn't have any friends named Skippy.
No, he's the biggest fucking Italian I've ever seen. He's like 6'5", and he's from Rome. He's like a gladiator.
Wow.
Where's this
But-
place at Freehold?
Solo Trattoria, right on Main Street on the Route
Oh, I
7,
know where by the court. and all that.
right across the street from where they put the Christmas tree.
Okay.
My
He's
brother.
on that
That's
little
nice.
side street there, and he's right next to the Cuban restaurant.
More than anybody, you know she's a good woman, man. You take
She
care
is.
of her.
She is.
God
and I'm
bless you,
sorry
man.
she
I'm
don't
happy
feel
for you.
good, but she would love to be here. She's got a busy day tomorrow to run around, and she wanted to rest.
Tell her to take the car.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Less
Be so
sweating.
tired.
Yeah.
She does. Believe me,
Stupid,
she does. She's like Dorothy Explorer when she gets the car.
Dorothy Explorer.
But all right, Paul, you got a list?
Yes.
So we'll
do
stand
Two
up
words we
straight.
had today: status and plethora.
What about quintessential?
I didn't get that one.
Okay.
I missed it.
I
Sorry.
said it twice.
Hey, do you
I know, I
notice
missed it.
how Patrick, when I mentioned Quentin Tarantino and his name, he goes, "Yeah, I was just talking to Quentin the other day." You know you've got it made.
Every time I hear quintessential, I always think of my cousin Vinny.
Yeah, the quintessential Gambini.
Yeah.
But when you mention a major name and you know him by a nickname or something,
You
yeah,
saw-
I was just
saw him-
talking to Quentin.
It's like I went to the pizzeria. I saw Tim Eli. That's how casual it was. Like, hey, he was sitting over there. I saw him, what are you doing, you jerk off? You know,
Kilpatrick's a great guest.
name
man, he
dropper.
Really is.
No, I'm just.
No, I am. You know.
All right. So, what is the list, Paul?
What list? Oh, you want that list?
The fuck?
I didn't know what you meant. I thought we were ending. I thought you were ending the show. I know what you were
No,
doing.
we got 15 minutes, dude.
Okay, good. Okay,
Was it
good.
Charles List? He was the guy that hacked up his family in Hillsborough or
here's-
something.
Yes, the Hillsborough.
Here's the
List
Killer.
was his last name. Yeah.
Yes.
The top 10. Now, this is by viewership. This is by Nielsen ratings. The top 10 miniseries
Of all time.
of all time on TV. Oh,
Mini-
miniseries only came
mini.
out
Yeah.
in the 70s or 80s. They weren't in
Roots.
before that.
Roots.
Roots is right up there, number 4.
Rich man, poor man.
No, and I thought that should have been there
That's
too.
a classic.
It was a classic. I used to watch that.
I got
one.
it. The Thornbirds.
Yeah, Stormbirds is number 12 though. It's
And
number, didn't make the top 10.
samurai one too that Dr. Kildare was in.
Oh,
What was the war one? I
this
can't.
one was a Richard Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Shogun.
Shogun.
It's not in there.
What?
I know.
Oh. With concentration camp. Fritz Weaver was the star. Bunch of Woods was in it.
Schindler's List.
No.
That's a movie.
No.
I know.
It was Holocaust. Holocaust.
No.
Uh,
I'm surprised
no.
Roots was number 4.
Holy.
Yeah, I thought Roots would have been number 1, but I guess people passed it.
Mary Hartman. Mary Hartman.
That's not a miniseries.
Wasn't that a
That was a
miniseries?
TV show.
Oh, okay.
I knew the
There
miniseries
was
from
one
the
with
70s and early 80s. I knew them all.
I tell you,
After that-
There
number
was
one.
one with a war. I can't think of it.
Number 1 and 2, I didn't believe it. The number
I
1 and
can't
2.
think of the name.
You're
the
doing
war
good there for a
ones?
while.
I can't believe the Thornbirds wasn't up
No,
there.
it was number 12. It just didn't
The
make the top
chicks
10.
loved it, man.
Yeah.
Which one you said about the war? Who said the one about the war?
There's something about the war.
That was number 11. The Winds of War.
Windsor.
That was number 11.
Windsor War. That's where they learned about the nut. The Windsor.
Windsor.
The Windsor not?
Charles Emerson Windsor.
That's right over here. East Windsor's right down the block.
Hunnicut.
Was there something about Vietnam?
The Martian Chronicles.
I'm not sure if any of these are about Vietnam. I don't know. Some of these ones I don't know by title, so I don't
The
know.
Martian Chronicles. Ray
No.
Because
Bradbury.
when we were kids, we were tortured watching those.
Oh man.
Yeah,
What's the hint about number 1? What decade?
It was an army miniseries.
Yeah, that's the one I can't think of.
I don't know how to hint at other than that because once I say anything, you're gonna know.
Falcon Crest.
That wasn't
a
a
TV
army movie.
series, yeah.
That was a series, miniseries.
So it was an army.
I can't. Yeah,
made
I
for
know this
TV
one. I just can't think of the name.
miniseries.
Hogan's Heroes.
Survey says.
The
Yeah,
book
in fact, they just opened up next door, the sub shop, Hogan's Heroes. They're
No,
called.
that's Yogi's Hoagies.
Yogi's
That
Hoagies,
was
never
Gene's
mind.
sponsor.
Okay,
He
want me,
has-
want me to tell you number 1 because you're not gonna get it.
No. I'm gonna-
Okay, keep guessing then.
Who
I'm
was in it? Do
military.
you know who was in it?
Yeah, that's a better
No,
question.
because I didn't watch it.
No.
I didn't watch a lot of these. That's why I don't know. I really know too much about
Casey
them.
Jones
No,
was the
give us
son of a
number 10.
bitch.
I mean, I watched Roots. I watched
Don't give us the number 1. Give us number 10. Give us a hint.
number
Okay.
10 is Angels in America. I have no idea what that is.
That was HBO.
HIV. You're right.
miniseries,
It
though.
was about the
Oh, okay.
outbreak of HIV for the first time.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Angels in America. Yeah.
Okay.
Undercover or something. The hookers at the point.
Now, keep in mind, seriously, some of these miniseries weren't made for regular broadcast TV. They were
No.
made for some of your HBOs, for instance.
Right,
you know.
exactly.
That's where
Well,
the
Channel 13 also. back
Angels
in the
or
day.
whatever is from.
Right.
Yeah.
Channel
Yeah,
13
I
had
can't
a lot of
remember
those.
some of these miniseries.
Scissors.
Oh, there's got to be some
Like-
of the
like
more
Jaws is
recent. There's got to be some of the more
Jaws is
recent
just-
ones too.
Yeah, a lot of recent ones are in here.
like some of those British royalty.
Because
type of
remember,
ones.
miniseries weren't been around that long.
Yeah,
Downton
70s for sure.
Downton Abbey.
Well, speaking of
Downtown
which,
Abbey. That's I'm thinking along those lines.
George
yeah.
Clooney just redid Catch 22.
Catcher
It's
in
on
the Rye.
Hulu.
Catcher in the Rye is a book in a movie. It's not a movie.
It's a
book.
bakery.
Hey, some of
everybody
that-
read
Howie
that book.
Catcher.
We all had to read that book in school.
These are hard.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Like you, I said Rich Man, Poor Man. I thought that should have been in there.
I love it.
It was a
I
great
remember
series.
Swear by it
That
till
I
this day,
remember.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not in the list.
Yeah,
They didn't make it in top 12.
If Roots only made it to 4, I won't know the other.
That's what I'm saying.
I
I
thought
thought-
Roots would have been number 1.
So did I.
Yeah.
So did I. I expected that too.
Yeah.
I'll give you. How about here's one? It was what's his face? The right.
Hatfields versus the McCoys. That was one.
That was a miniseries.
That was a miniseries with
not in here.
Kevin Costner.
It's not in here. What's the name of the writer from Boston?
More than a feeling.
Brad Delp.
No, the writer. The writer.
Sib Hashian.
The writer that writes all the horror movies. What the hell is his name? King.
Oh, Stephen
Stephen
King.
King. He's got one. It's in this list.
Oh, Stranger Things. No,
That's a good show.
Is that what the one with the kids
Miniseries.
find him found the clown in the sewer or something?
that's it.
That's not it.
Thinner.
The Stand.
The Stand.
That was number 7.
7.
I remember that when they made a movie out of Thinner back in the 70s. They did. It was a movie.
Paint Thinner?
Yeah.
I got one. The Last Don
No.
with Joe Mantegna and Danny Aiello. That was a miniseries.
not in
Aiello
the
is
list.
something.
I'm not saying it's not in the
man.
list.
Aiello always plays
Take
great
that
characters.
list and throw it in the garbage.
I didn't,
okay?
this is by viewership. This is by Nielsen ratings.
How could you not have the Last
It goes by
Don?
Nielsen rating. It doesn't matter what we like. It
That
matters
was-
what the people watched.
Mario Puzo did it. It was a blockbuster. You
but
remember that, Gene?
But
The
it
Last
wasn't.
Don?
But it didn't make the Nielsen ratings in the top 10.
The Claracuzo family.
Hey, I agree with some of the ones you're saying. Believe
The
me.
Sicilian?
No, it's not in there.
No.
Oh, wow. That's not
I'm saying this is gonna be really hard.
I'm
Highlander?
cheating.
One took place in ancient Roman days.
I, Claudius.
Yes, number 8.
How the hell did you pull that out of your
I
ass?
know it. I just wouldn't think.
That was a big one.
I'll be
That was
damned.
that was
What
number
about
8.
the Bible?
No, and I would thought that would have been in there somewhere too.
I'm cheating. I'm looking at
Ten
the list.
Commandments.
Great movie. I'm thinking of one that the women probably swooned over.
One
so
was
I'm probably wrong.
one was an early president.
Oh, I got it here.
Oh,
One of the third president of the United States.
What about North and South?
Not in there.
Good guess.
Not in there. It is a good one.
Glory.
No, the name of the president. Name of a president. The third president of the United States. Go ahead.
Oh, that was Adams.
Yes, John Adams. That was number 3.
Hey, the war one that you mentioned for number 1. Roughly what decade was it
Oh,
in miniseries?
I got it here.
90s?
I got it here.
All right, good. You go. You go.
80, it says 83 here. The Winds of War.
Nah,
Oh, War and Remembrance.
The Winds of War was number 11.
that's a good guess though.
The War Remembrance.
I'm
no.
sorry, Paul. You're saying it was the 80s or something?
I think it was the 80s or 90s. I think in 90s or 2000s.
Winds of War was 83.
No, I'm talking about that. I'm
The
talking about
only
the one.
other
He's talking about
military
the one's number 1. Number 1 is it's not that old. It's not that old.
Holocaust?
Oh, it's not.
The
not that
Long
old.
Hot Summer.
The only other
With
war
Don
one,
Johnson.
I've never seen it, but I heard of it. Band of Brothers.
That's it. Number 1.
That's number 1.
That's number 1.
Who
Band
was
of-
in it?
I don't know.
That
That's
was
number 1.
That
I'll
was
look
a
that up, hold on.
Showtime. That was a Showtime or HBO thing.
Yeah.
That was band
HBO.
HBO.
Oh, I haven't watched.
Band of the Hand.
Okay.
No, there was somebody famous in that.
Number 2, I don't. It's a name of an ocean, but I don't know what the movie, the miniseries was about.
Belly Ocean.
About the ocean. About the ocean. About one of the oceans. Name of the ocean.
Damian Lewis is in
Atlantic?
that.
South
Brothers.
Pacific. Yeah.
Pacific.
Yeah.
Pacific. They call it the Pacific. I don't even know what
Okay.
that is. Number 2.
I never heard of it.
I never did either.
I know South Pacific, but not the Pacific. No,
How
no.
many's left, Paul?
1, 2, 3. You have number 5, 6, and 9.
5, 6, and 9.
Oh, well, those are the obvious ones then.
One was a western, kind of a western with Robert Duvall.
Oh God! Oh,
Oh,
yeah. A lot of cowboys were in that.
What do
Oh
you-
yeah, it
Think
was
of a bird.
great.
Think of a bird.
Thornbirds,
No.
Bird.
eagle,
Cowboy,
hawk,
cowboy. Think of a bird's in the title. Or a certain kind of a bird's in the title.
eagle,
Lonesome Dove.
lonesome dove.
number
You're
6.
right. You're right. That was big. I'll admit. Good one. Good.
Got 2 more left. Number 5 and number 9.
Jesse Stone.
V.
No. Number 9. Number 9. I don't even never heard of.
V. That's a good one.
It was a good
Sal.
one. I like that one.
V. That was with Mandy Patinkin. He played the alien.
I remember I saw the original TV series. Mark Singer was in it. This is like really early '80s,
The
and it
Dome.
was a miniseries. V.
The
It
Dome.
was
Yeah.
good.
I remember that.
It
Yeah.
was good.
About the aliens. Yeah.
The Dome.
Then my sister was in one called Lonesome Muff.
Lonesome Dove.
She was very lonely.
No muff too tough.
I the 2 that are left. Give me the.
Yeah,
give
V's
us the,
a good
Give
one,
us the genre.
I don't know because I don't know what you. I
I'm
don't know either
looking
one of
at
them.
You don't know when they came out either.
One's called the
The Stand
one's
with Stephen
P
King.
and the P.
P and the
Pride
P.
and
Pride and
Prejudice.
Prejudice.
Pride and Prejudice number
Yeah.
5.
Wow.
Number 9. I don't know what it is. I have no idea what this is. Number 9.
Number 9. Number 9. Turn me on, dead man. Turn me on, dead man.
The Walking Dead.
No, I don't think anybody's going to get this one.
All right. Give
I never heard. Generation Kill.
No.
I was just looking at it. It's
what
funny.
is-
I just
what
read,
is
I
it?
was just reading that here.
What is it? I don't know what it is.
I just lost it. Where did it go?
I have no idea.
Oh, here it is.
Never heard of it.
Does it say what it was about?
2008 it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
a lot
not
of these were
surprised.
recent, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But what was it about, does it say?
That was a good
Alexander
job.
Skarsgård is in it.
But what's it about? Generation Kill.
Trying to pronounce Skarsgård
Skars.
because he's Swedish or something.
Hotel Rwanda.
Oh, that's the guy from.
Hotel Rwanda. Hotel Rwanda.
Help me, Rwanda. Help.
Help me, Rwanda.
Does it say what it's about, Sal?
Defense is wrong.
I tell you what, I would take Rich Man, Poor Man. To me, that was
too.
the first miniseries I
Me-
ever remembered, and I couldn't stop watching
And it gave
man.
Peter Strauss and Nick Nolte a whole career.
And what's his name? The Brady Bunch's father played heterosexual
Reed.
in it.
Yeah, Robert Reed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Robert Reed. Yeah.
Because he was making it with that famous model, whatever her name was. I can't remember her name.
Right.
But yeah.
Great show. That was a great series.
God, man. I had worked at a drive-in before that, and we had a Nick Nolte movie with Don Johnson. It was called Return to Macon County.
Yes.
But the really big role for Nolte was Rich Man, Poor Man.
Oh, that's what made him famous.
Remember
Came home.
I don't know if it was HBO or Showtime. Remember The Hitchhiker?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, wow.
I
Yeah.
do.
Yep.
These kids know nothing out there.
Wasn't that with Hulk? What's his name? The German. What's his name? He always played a bad guy.
Cole Hauser?
That's a good guess.
It's like that.
No, you mean Colon Cleanser.
Oh, Rutger Hauer?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's who was in it.
Oh, he's in a lot of movies too.
He
I
was.
mentioned Nolte. You know how they take the KFC commercials and for like a month they'll have a different.
Different guy playing in the yeah.
He was a bad guy.
Mention Nolte. Nolte would be good.
Yeah.
And the best one, I think, Gary Busey as
For
Colonel
what?
Sanders in the at KFC commercials.
KFC, they switched people
I think
otherwise.
you'd be good as Colonel
Oh,
Sanders.
please, of course I am, man. I'm an unknown comic.
Rucker Howell was the bad guy.
I'm an
in,
unknown. I texted Carlo just the other day,
You're an unknown comic?
and I said, yeah, I am obviously. I said, Carlo,
The unknown comic.
I am good enough. I could be an Academy Award nominee. But sadly, this world is never going to find out.
Yeah.
I am that
Told you
good.
you said that?
I did. I sent you that text.
I know.
Yeah.
What was it? What's the guy's name?
Who?
Murray Langston.
Murray Langston.
was the
Yeah.
unknown comic.
He's in charge of Vegas. He's in charge of the Holiday Inn Entertainment.
Yes.
I got it for you.
He's a good guy.
It's about the young Marines of the first Renaissance Battalion.
Oh, okay.
wow.
What's that? The Brothers of Band?
Generation X. Generation Kill.
Yeah.
Saving
Generation
Private Ryan. No,
Saving
that's it.
Ryan's Private.
You got another one? we
They
can
had
do
some
real quick?
heavyweights in
You
that
got any?
movie
No.
too, man.
You said you always have 2 or 3 ready.
Well, we
Why
used
do
the
you-
last one
why
last
do you-
week.
Why do you lie for?
Tell me why you say that.
I liked
Timmy,
Rucker Howell
why
in
you
Nighthawks.
do this to me? You're not my mother!
Jimmy, why you do this to me, Tammy? Tammy, why you do this?
That's a good movie, right, Gene?
Oh, that was a great movie. For its
I
time.
worked at a drive-in.
for its
Nighthawks?
times.
We saw that, yeah.
Look at you.
son
I
of a
can't wait for them to get off the air so I can play Eddie Fanuca in the Ham Radio Show.
You're not my mother.
The Ham and Cheese Radio Show. Who they got coming on tonight?
Yeah.
He's got some T-Girl.
The T-Girl?
Teabag.
What do you mean T-Girl? What's a T-Girl?
Teabag?
Paul, send us out with a
What are you gonna sing?
He's got a Fender. That makes it classic enough.
Gonna sing Crembone? Crembone.
I always wonder about rock stars when they're young. They always write about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That's all they write about. But if they were older, they would write differently. Like Billy Idol wrote a song today. It'd be like, "My kids are always on the go. When I tell them stuff, they say they know. It's a roll of the dice. If they take my advice, it's like I'm talking to myself. Do they hear a word I say? Doesn't matter anyway. One thing's for sure, I'm talking to the wall. It's like I'm talking to myself. Oh, 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 oh. Talking to myself. Oh, oh, oh. Talking to myself. Oh, oh, oh. How about if,
How about Adam Ant? You do any of that?
No.
Can't shit, can't piss.
that's good. How about if Neil Young wrote a song today? I've had my balls squeezed for much too long now. They may be hard, but they're not made of gold. But this impression needs ball compression. Keeps me singing in this high falsetto. and they're hanging low.
I will. First, I'm a fan of Neil Young, but
Me
second
too.
of all, I can promise you his balls are healthy. You know why? He's been with Daryl Hannah for years.
Oh, they already.
That's
I didn't know
his
that.
squeeze.
I heard
for
she
years.
hit
Jackson Brown's old
Wait,
girlfriend.
I heard
Yeah.
she hit the wall though.
That was when Jackson had his hands on her.
Yeah.
I heard that. I've seen pictures of her. I heard she hit
Never
the
mind.
wall.
Well,
No,
is.
she
She's gotta
looked.
be in
I
her
saw a
60s.
picture from the last couple of years. Her and Neil together. She looked all right. She looked all right, my brother.
You know that Friends is doing a reunion show?
No.
Here's a new theme song. Nobody told me in the morning you look this way. Your face is full of zits, your mouth filled with decay. Last night I don't recall you like this. When the morning comes, I'll be gone. Please don't expect a kiss. I won't wait for you. Don't want my friends to see ya. I won't wait for you. Wouldn't wanna be ya. I won't wait for you. Is that pyorrhea?
I tell you, I don't care what anybody says. I would bet my life that Jennifer Aniston looks good in the morning.
She still looks good.
Just turned 50.
She still looks good.
That first thing in the morning. You know
Yeah,
what I
she
mean?
still looks good, man.
Tim, where you at this weekend? Anywhere?
Actually, no. This weekend I'm all right. Next weekend I'm with Ed Ruffalo.
Oh, up north,
This
that's right.
weekend, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, no, we're
that's
good. What's his name? No Filters there. And
Right.
there's some others I don't know. With Johnny Hollywood.
What's the name of the club again? Was he calling the place?
I have
Alpha
no.
Comedy
Yeah,
Club.
right behind us, Alpha Comedy Club.
That's February 16th at Ed's premiere show.
Yeah, mine's the
Good,
23rd.
good.
I want to wish him some luck. So if you
Yep.
want,
Yep.
go out. If you need tickets, you can see Big Ed Ruffalo on Facebook, or you can call 201-456-5349.
Now,
There you
dig
go.
this. You guys know a comic, Tom Angeli?
Yeah.
I know Gina knows
Yeah,
him.
come
He
through
won
also.
the Meadowlands Comedy Festival last year.
Right.
Right.
So I'm going to try to dethrone him. I think the first weekend in March up in a Chinese place in Secaucus.
The throne. It's not a
See,
contest. You know
cocky.
that, right?
I think you could do it.
You know it's not a contest, right?
You're a tank, kid. Well, where you at this weekend?
Okay, this Friday, Howard Johnson's in Tom's River.
Almost sold out.
It is almost sold out. It's like, yeah, it's almost sold out already. But it's $20. You get a buffet and a show, 2.5-hour show.
Actually passed there
stuff, man.
last week.
That's just 50.
And Paul's lying. It's like a 5-hour show, but it's
Nah, it goes by
it's
quick.
2.5 hours.
And Saturday, you and I, Carlo, are playing together. We're doing a show up in Cliffwood Beach, called the Fiorendo
Italian
Community Center.
Suppository Center.
No, Fiorendo Community Center. It's actually a fundraiser for
That's a solid show right there.
for
you
the
two guys.
Matawan Softball Booster Club. So come on down for that.
I have the
Solid
most
show.
fun when I work with Paul. We just work well with each
Oh,
other.
you sure do.
We have fun. We always have fun.
Between going there and going back, just laughing in the car at stupid
That's the best
stuff,
part of it,
you know?
man. It's like being on the school bus. You got the work out of the way, and you're on your
Are
way
they
back.
locking the windows?
You want it? You want it? I could make Paul lose control of the car by just playing Jonathan Winters tearing down the garage.
Oh,
It's a madman.
maybe
man.
What about when him and Robin Williams were on Johnny Carson? Johnny Carson wet himself.
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite also is Forster Brooks roasting Don Rickles. That's one of my favorite clips too.
Mrs. Pickles?
Which reminds me, we need more pretzels, more scotch.
Imagine those shows coming back.
Oh, I would love those roasts. Were
You
great.
couldn't do that now.
No.
They were all drunk on that dais. They were all gone.
No, you could do that now.
You
think
can't.
so?
Know what? The ones today are mean and just mean spirited. The ones back then were fun. They were
Yeah,
riveting.
you're right. The mean spirited today.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
not.
when Don Rickles kissed Sinatra on the lips was great.
Oh, we actually just looked at it. Yeah.
Paul, I got something for you. Ready?
Okay.
I got something for you.
Oh no! Here we go.
I swear to Jesus, if this is those wrestling again.
Okay, good morning. Hi, I'm just calling this morning to ask if you're a supporter of the United States military.
Oh my God, I apologize. We've been getting calls all morning. I apologize, and yes.
Great prank.
Fantastic.
Yes, I am.
Great. Are you a supporter of the Marine Corps?
Yes, absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely.
Great, because a former decorated member of the United States Marine Corps needs your support.
And his name is John Cena! He's gonna get in the ring and put boots to asses! This
Are you
weekend!
kidding me right now?
WWE!
Are you kidding me right now?
This is like the fourth time they got that lady.
Oh, they abused this poor woman.
Four
so
times they
bad.
got it. That was like
kept
the
calling
fourth
her up,
one.
Asked her if she wants to do pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And they kept changing the script, and no matter what she said,
They come in without. That's John Cena.
The one guy, the one time they call up, they go, "Hi, can I speak to Champ?"
Yeah, Champ. Who's Champ?
There's no Champ.
Champ is John Cena.
Do you remember, this is going back almost 30 years, when guys started making some money doing this? What are they called, the Jerky Boys or something?
Yeah, the Jerky Boys, yeah.
It was hysterical back then.
Are they making a comeback or something?
I don't know,
It
but I'm
was
friends with
hysterical.
Kamal actually on
Yeah.
Facebook. Kamal.
Do you Uganda Giant?
No, Kamal, one of the Jerky Boys.
Kamal without,
doing a movie or
Kamal within.
Yeah.
The Jerky Boys were good. They were unique.
Make sure you catch Sal's show. Sal, what time's your show tomorrow?
Tomorrow night, hope whatever they want.
Whatever. Like, what
That's
kind
good.
of question is that? Or whatever they want. I don't know. Whenever you want, feel like tuning into Sal's show, talking baseball.
It's good timing for it too. Good timing.
And the Taker 2 takes over, and whatever other show he's got, the other 15 shows that he's competing with Jerry Petito. I want to thank Sal. I breast his balls. He's a great guy. And,
I try.
Damn right.
For coming in.
Let's do this.
Who's calling? Well, this is Mike Stewart with Network. You've been selected to receive a
It's a
complete
telemarketer
digital satellite system for free. With this, you're going to... let me ask you something. Did you know Tom Mabe? Were you a friend of his? No, I'm not. I'm just calling to... hold that thought. Hold on one second, all right? Hey, guys, get really good pictures of the body. Yeah, and dust everything down for print. Mike, you there? Yeah. Let me bring you up to speed. You've actually called a murder scene. Mr. Mabe is no longer with us. I'm Officer Clark. I'm conducting a homicide investigation. I want to ask you a series of questions. First of all, what was the nature of the business you had with Tom Mabe? I had no business with him. I'm sorry to bother. No, hey, hold on. Look, I want to ask you to stay on the phone. This call's already been traced, and we may need you to come in for further questioning. Steve, you don't understand. I'm just calling on... No, look, you don't understand. Unless you want to be charged with obstruction of justice, it's imperative you keep your ass on the phone, Mike. Well, how about you just talk with my supervisor then? No, look, we'll get your supervisor in a second. First of all, give me your whereabouts. I'm at work. You're at work? Yeah. You being a smartass? No, sir. Let me put it to you this way, Mike. Say I wanted to mail your ass a letter. What would I have to write on the outside of that envelope to ensure the mailman would deliver it right to your ass? Geographically speaking, Mike, where is work? 47 West Street. Now, hold on. That's 47-8? Yes, sir. Mike, hold on one second, all right? Yeah. Get the Little Police Department Homicide Division on the phone. Give him this information. Tell him he's being sought in connection with a fatal shooting and aggravated robbery. How did you know Mr. Mabe again? Well, hey, you're calling the Littleton Police Department? I'm hundreds of miles away. I don't even know the guy. I'm in Colorado. Don't let that scare you. That's just a formality. I mean, have you ever been to his place of residence? No. And tell me again, Mike, where were you last night between the hours of 8 and 10? I'm not feeling real comfortable about any of this. Have you even ever spoken with Mr. Mabe, Mike? No, I haven't. I don't even know the guy. That's what I've been trying to tell you. Okay, just calm down. Hold on. Look, just back up. I got one more question for you, Mike. As you well know, I'm sure, Mr. Mabe was a flaming homosexual. And there's no easy way of asking that. I don't want to embarrass you or nothing, but were you his gay lover? What? No. What the hell kind of a question? Look. If gay is your way, that's okay. I still know there's a lot of you gay people in the closet. I'm not saying I haven't thought about myself, you know. Say I was in Las Vegas or something, buy a couple drinks, cute little Mexican midget. Mexican midget. Caleb?
Is that great?
Oh, that's great.
A great prank on a telemarketer, man.
Animal House.
I want to thank Sal Angeletti, Timmy
Yeah.
Live, and Paul Veneer on behalf of Gisela Bella. We'll see you all next week. This is the Animal House Radio Show.
Suck it.